Chapter 761. Level 11 Test, Tao Enlightenment. Yang Wu had to enter the unity of heaven and man, Tao Enlightenment state within 7 days. If he could do it, he could enter level 12. If he couldn't, he had to exit the god of war pagoda. Tao Enlightenment could be the Tao of realms, the Tao of creating moves, and even the martial Tao of cultivation. No matter what kind of Tao it was, as long as he entered the Tao Enlightenment state, he could enter the final level. On level 11, the heaven and earth mystic chi here was as pure as water. It was as if he was in a pool of heaven and earth mystic chi, constantly absorbing large amounts of heaven and earth mystic chi to strengthen his body. It was extremely beneficial for his cultivation. Yang Wu wasn't in the mood to pay attention to the heaven and earth mystic chi. He was thinking about how to enter the Tao Enlightenment state. The last time he entered the Tao Enlightenment state was in the City of Redemption, where he created the Demon Slayer move. Now, he decided to continue creating his own second move. Creating a move was easier said than done. He knew how difficult it was better than anyone else. Fortunately, he had already experienced it once and was more prepared. He adjusted his condition and calmed himself down. Then, he began to look for an opportunity to create a move. Now, his cultivation was complex. There were spear techniques, sword techniques, fist techniques, palm techniques, and so on. He cultivated every battle technique well, but when he thought about it carefully, he realized that none of them could unleash a unique power. He began to meditate and went through all that he had learned in his life. Then he took out some battle technique scrolls and compared them. The Yang family is best at spear techniques. I have also inherited the Yang family style. However, I have the Taiha flying dragon passed down by the Taiha ancestors, which makes my spear techniques better. I don't have to rush to learn spear techniques. I have the nameless sword technique, which can also unleash great power. My fist techniques are also strong enough, but my palm techniques are average. However, this isn't my forte, so it's not beneficial for me to comprehend them. Or should I create a second move and combine it with the Demon Slayer move to form a battle technique? Yang Wu was very conflicted. He didn't know how to choose a move to create. After some hesitation, he chose to comprehend a saber move and combine it with the Demon Slayer to form a unique saber technique. The Death Scythe was extraordinary. Once it unleashed the power of the saber technique, its lethality would be strong enough. Moreover, it could be combined with the Tao of Death. Therefore, he entered the state of creating sword skills. However, no matter how much he meditated, he could not enter the state of enlightenment. 3 days passed in this manner, but he had gained nothing. His heart became somewhat anxious. The more it was like this, the harder it was for him to calm down and enter a state of enlightenment. Yang Wu lost confidence in creating new moves, so he changed his mind and planned to rely on meditation to enter a state of enlightenment. In the end, there was no result. Don't tell me I don't have the talent to comprehend the Tao. Yang Wu seemed extremely depressed. There were only 2 days left until the end of the 7 days. If he didn't find anything, he would have to leave. It was also at this moment that he suddenly recalled the power of the heavenly lightning bone that he had used during his battle with Xin Yuan Jun electromagnetic field. The heavenly thunder bone could release lightning, and the electricity contained a very powerful destructive power. How could he unearth the innate talent of the heavenly thunder bone? As he thought about it, Yang Wu couldn't help but be fascinated. He looked at his heavenly thunder bone and used his Xian Qi to stimulate it many times. He even used the power of the heaven and earth mysterious bridge to draw out the power of the heavenly thunder bone, forming a magnetic field around him. However, this magnetic field wasn't able to unleash its full power. It should be able to be further excavated. After a while of exploration, Yang Wu found that his heavenly thunder bone was different from other bones. There were lines of patterns on the heavenly thunder bone that formed runes. They also looked like ancient words and appear to be very mysterious. What is this? Could it be formed after being tempered by heavenly lightning? Yang Wu thought to himself. Therefore, he focused his attention on studying these runes. He found that these runes were mostly the same. They were all in the shape of a fork, just like the electric fork wielded by the legendary goddess of lightning. The thunder hammer and electric fork were the peerless divine weapons owned by the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning. They carried out punishment on behalf of the heavens and possessed extraordinary power. If anyone committed a crime, the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning would appear and kill them with the divine weapons. As Yang Wu's spiritual power was injected into these electric fork runes, he fell into a strange state. He seemed to see the god of thunder and the goddess of lightning striking lightning. Among them, the goddess of lightning brandished her electric fork. Every fork contained millions of joules of electricity. Any living creature that came in contact with it would definitely die. Those heavenly lightning were all wielded by the goddess of lightning. Millions of heavenly lightning bolts possessed the power to destroy everything. The god of thunder was in charge of continuously striking lightning at the side. Those rumbling sounds were all produced by his thunder hammer. The god of thunder and the goddess of lightning each carried out their own duties. Neither of them would overstep the other's duty. Yang Wu's gaze was fixed on the goddess of lightning. He saw that she was releasing a terrifying magnetic field around her. Within the magnetic field, there were runes that took the form of electric forks swimming around her. They would occasionally circle around the goddess of lightning and occasionally fly away from her. They would land on the clouds not far away, and those clouds would quickly dissipate. Yang Wu stared intently at this scene. He wanted to imprint all of this deeply into his mind. Meanwhile, the heavenly thunderbone on his body emitted a purple glow. The runes on the bone flew out from his body and formed electric forks in the magnetic field around him. These electric forks were the same as the ones wielded by the goddess of lightning. The only difference was that there was a huge difference in strength. The goddess of lightning's electric fork was moving. Yang Wu's electric fork was also moving. The goddess of lightning's electric fork was emitting destructive electricity. Yang Wu's electric fork was also emitting a considerable amount of power. The goddess of lightning held these electric forks together and formed a divine weapon, the electric fork. Yang Wu couldn't help but clench his fists. An electric fork appeared in his hand. It was as though he had become the goddess of lightning. He began to brandish the electric fork and punish all the injustice in the world. Boom, boom, boom. Outside the god of war pagoda, dark clouds suddenly gathered. Soon, there were bursts of heavenly thunder. In the sky, the figure of the goddess of lightning seemed to appear. She was using electricity. 1 bolt of heavenly thunder fell, 2 bolts of heavenly thunder fell, 3 bolts of heavenly thunder fell, 10,000 bolts of heavenly thunder fell. The sages guarding the god of war pagoda were shocked. A phenomenon from the heavens. It has something to do with the heavenly thunder. Who exactly obtained a great opportunity? Our battle race doesn't have any prodigies who cultivate lightning mystic chi. Could it be that a prodigy from outside our battle race obtained a great opportunity? That might not be the case. Someone in our battle race might have awakened an astonishing talent. To be able to cause such a violent phenomenon, the opportunity obtained is not simple. I feel that this is the heavens roaring in anger. Perhaps someone that the heavens cannot tolerate has appeared. Yang Wu was completely unaware of what was happening outside the god of war pagoda. He felt that he had become the goddess of lightning and had become very awesome. However, suddenly, he was scorched by the power of lightning and felt pain all over his body. He withdrew from that state of enlightenment. I've been electrocuted. What's going on? Yang Wu screamed in confusion. Just now, he wanted to wield the electric fork in a mighty manner to draw out the lightning energy from the heavenly thunderbone to test its power. However, the lightning energy seemed to be a little too fierce. Before it could land on the electric fork, it electrocuted his body and woke him up. The electromagnetic field disappeared. He didn't know if he had passed, but he seemed to understand the use of the electromagnetic field. That was the electric fork talent. Once again, he released the electromagnetic field. This time, he was much more relaxed. Electric forks, formed by electricity, appeared in this magnetic field. They were like sharp blades hidden in the electromagnetic field. Anything that was shrouded by this electromagnetic field would be shredded into powder. Yang Wu took out a king-level stone and threw it at his electromagnetic field. The terrifying electricity caused the stone to crack. When Yang Wu used his mind to direct the electric fork to strike the stone, the electric fork hit the stone. Bang! The stone was quickly shattered, and the scattered stones were also ground to dust. The destructive power was astonishing. Yang Wu took out another heaven-level stone and threw it into the electromagnetic field. The heaven-level stone was very sturdy. When the electric fork hit it, it couldn't withstand the electric fork's attack. It quickly cracked and turned to dust like the king-level stone. Haha, I have another electric fork talent. Yang Wu laughed heartily. Other people would be thankful to have one talent, but now he had multiple talents. His talent was really amazing. If he could unleash all of these talents, he would definitely be able to unleash combat power that others couldn't compare to. At that moment, a voice sounded. You have passed the enlightenment stage. Congratulations on entering the top level of the battle tower. I really passed. Haha, I really passed. Yang Wu laughed excitedly. Along the way, he had gone through many challenges and almost lost his life. Only then did he stumble through all the tests and enter the top level. It was really not easy. Yang Wu calmed himself down and asked, Can I rest on this level for 2 days? No, you have half a day at most. Otherwise, you will automatically give up on entering the 12th level. The voice replied, All right, half a day it is. Yang Wu said helplessly. He chose to stay for half a day because he wanted to further explore the power of the electromagnetic field. He felt that the electromagnetic field wasn't as simple as it seemed. It might be very powerful. The main reason was that his heavenly lightning bone hadn't been completed yet. That was why he couldn't unleash the power of his innate talent. Yang Wu spent half a day familiarizing himself with the electromagnetic field. He had a clear understanding of the power of the electric fork. With the current power of the electric fork, he could injure a high-level minor saint. If he could go one step further, he could even deal with a peak minor saint. I wonder if concocting pills here will attract heavenly lightning. I really can't wait to complete the refinement of the heavenly lightning bone. That way, I will be able to unleash an incomparably powerful force. Yang Wu murmured. He paused for a moment and said, Other than that, it can also unleash the power of the electromagnetic field. Any weapon will be attracted to it like a magnet. It can affect the weapon's attack and even destroy it. Chapter 762. The 12th level of the God of War Pagoda. This was the top level of the God of War Pagoda. After Yang Wu stepped in, he finally felt like he had entered the pagoda. Here, the wooden boards of the tower appeared. He could see the windows of the tower not far away. Walking to the window, he could see the scenery of the outside world. The layers of mountains, as well as the clouds that were within reach, were all in his eyes. Yang Wu's vision became extremely comfortable. From the first level to the 12th level, he had experienced many difficulties. Fortunately, he had overcome them all. It was a pity that he had suffered a martial arts injury. This price was a little too high. If he did not obtain an unexpected reward here, he would be very disappointed. 1 year in the pagoda is 1 day outside. You can stay here and cultivate for 10 days. A voice rang out. These 10 days refer to the time outside the pagoda. Inside the pagoda, it was 10 years. 10 years was a very precious time for young cultivators. To be able to have 10 more years to fight for the Tao was probably a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Staying here for 10 years, I wonder if I'll be bored to death. Yang Wu sighed softly. 10 years was very precious, and he was very excited. At the same time, he thought about how he was only 20 years old since he was born. 10 years of cultivation felt very long, and with his personality of not being able to endure loneliness, he was afraid that it would not be so easy. At that moment, a figure quietly appeared in the God of War Pagoda. He said, Descendant of the Yang family, you're the first lucky person in the Yang family to successfully reach the 12th level in 10,000 years. Yang Wu looked at the white-haired elder who had appeared and asked in surprise, You are? The elder's voice was exactly the same as the voices from the previous levels. He had already guessed who he was, but he did not dare to be too sure. As expected, the elder replied, I am the pagoda spirit of the god of War Pagoda. Yang Wu bowed slightly to the elder and said, Greetings, Lord Pagoda's spirit. You are quite interesting. It is time to give you your reward. The pagoda's spirit smiled faintly. Yang Wu said excitedly, Thank you, Lord Pagoda's spirit. Take it well. The pagoda spirit said calmly before pointing a finger at Yang Wu's forehead. This finger emitted a boundless brilliance and directly entered Yang Wu's body. Yang Wu instantly lost consciousness. After an unknown amount of time, in his hazy consciousness, he saw an extremely imposing figure. He wore a set of azure armor and held a war spear. He stood upright on the peak of a mountain. Below the mountain was a dense group of demons. These demons numbered in the tens of thousands, and each of them had astonishing evil chi. Their combat strength was incomparably powerful. They crazily attacked the person on the mountain. This kind of terrifying power could only be unleashed by a saint realm, or even a creature beyond the saint realm. This was a battle between gods. The stalwart man with the war spear took dragon-like steps and stepped down from the air. His every movement contained a terrifying momentum. His body seemed to emit 9 blue suns, like a furnace filled with endless power. The war spear stabbed down, and the xian qi of heaven and earth surged in all directions like an upside-down waterfall. The terrifying impact immediately shattered the attacks of the evil spirits. The waterfall turned into countless arrows and crazily fell into the evil spirits. These evil spirits had no power to resist and were blasted into bloody dregs. Boom, boom, boom. The imposing man with the battle spear was really powerful. When he waved the battle spear, a terrifying spear light blasted out. Sometimes it was like a tiger, sometimes it was like a dragon, sometimes it was like a river, sometimes it was like a tsunami. Strange phenomena appeared in the world again and again. Countless demons were killed. He fought until his battle spear broke, and countless evil spirits fell, but countless evil spirits pounced on him again and again. He killed these evil spirits with his fists, as if he had transformed into a black tortoise, and had the ability to control water. Every punch of his carried a large amount of water, profound chi that exploded endlessly. His body exuded an aura of supremacy between heaven and earth, and no one could rival him. The clouds in the sky turned red as if they were dyed red by demon blood. There were blood rivers on the ground. They were all condensed by demon blood. Countless broken limbs and a large number of corpses began to pile up into a mountain. The imposing man stepped on countless demon corpses. He had used up all his strength. There was not a single piece of intact flesh on his body. His bones were broken countless times, but he still held the broken spear and stood on the mountain of demon corpses. He illuminated every corner of the human race. It was as if as long as he was there, the demons would not dare to step into the human race's territory. He was the human race's invincible war god. Yang Wu felt like his head was about to explode. He held his head and screamed in pain. It was full of destructive power. It was as if his head was about to explode. The divine court Dao flower kept swaying. It was rapidly absorbing these wills. The 8th leaf was growing bigger, imprinting these wills bit by bit. After these wills were imprinted, Yang Wu's pain lessened. He fainted. He did not know how long it took for him to wake up. The pagoda spirit stood beside him. There was no emotion on his face. Yang Wu crawled up. He couldn't help but ask, Lord Pagoda's spirit, how long have I been unconscious? About 3 months in the pagoda spirit replied. He paused for a moment and then added, That's not bad. I've been unconscious for 3 months? Yang Wu was given a fright. He thought he had only been unconscious for a day or two. The martial will of your Yang family ancestor is boundless. For you to be able to digest it and wake up is already amazing, the pagoda spirit praised. Is that really the case? Yang Wu was puzzled. What he saw was the invincible figure of a Yang family ancestor. His every attack was too powerful. He could not understand it at all, nor could he comprehend its mysteries. Only when he became stronger would he be able to slowly unlock this martial will and fuse it into his own. However, it was not that he did not gain anything. He vaguely captured a wisp of will. That was the invincible will. No matter how desperate the situation his ancestor was in, he was fearless. It was as if there was no one in the world who could match him. That indomitable aura was incomparable. If he could also condense such a will, it would be very important for his future cultivation. Whether that is the case or not, you know it better than I do. You can do whatever you want from now on, the pagoda spirit said. Lord Pagoda Spirit, aren't you going to stay and teach me? Yang Wu asked. There is nothing more suitable for you than what your ancestor taught you. The pagoda spirit replied. But I worked so hard to reach the 12th level. It's not right for you to not give me a reward, right? Slowing down time here is my reward for you. What else do you want? This is a basic reward. Everyone has a share. Lord Pagoda Spirit, you can't be too harsh on me. You sly brat, I'm afraid of you. If you have any questions about cultivation, you can ask me at any time. I'll answer you when I'm in a good mood. Good. Then how do you repair a martial arts injury? This is an injury to the foundation of your human race. I don't understand. Then what use do I have for you? The pagoda spirit was deeply hurt. He had witnessed countless talented, monstrous geniuses. He had a massive amount of information and was well versed in both the past and present. In the transcendence, those that could compare with him were only a few undying old monsters. He felt that teaching a human brat should be an easy task. But this brat's first question was enough to drive him crazy. Injuries to the martial arts were indeed the most difficult problem to solve since ancient times. It wasn't as simple as having one's foundation damaged. It also meant that Yang Wu had encountered a problem in his cultivation. Normally, this would only happen to someone who had suffered a cultivation deviation. Yang Wu had suffered a martial arts injury because of Xin Yuan Jun's attack. It wasn't easy to solve this problem. After the pagoda spirit was looked down upon by Yang Wu, he couldn't help but search through all the geniuses that had suffered martial arts injuries since ancient times. He sorted them out and found that those geniuses that had suffered martial arts injuries all didn't have a good ending. They either stopped moving forward on their martial arts path or suffered injuries on top of injuries and died young. After Yang Wu heard this information from the pagoda spirit, he was so scared that his face paled. He muttered, "Is there really no hope?" There is. In ancient times, there was a genius that used his own abilities to repair his martial arts injuries and became one of the strongest. The pagoda spirit said. Yang Wu's hope was ignited. He asked, how did he solve this problem? I don't know. The pagoda spirit hesitated for a moment before replying. Yang Wu directly fainted to the ground. The pagoda spirit's old face couldn't help but say, he relied on his own willpower to continuously temper his own martial arts and repair his martial arts injuries. Of course, I don't know what method he used. I'm not them. It's already very difficult for me to gather information about them. Kid, you should be content. Yang Wu sat up. If even you can't do anything, then it looks like I can only rely on Little Hay. It must have a way to solve this problem. Who is Little Hay? The pagoda spirit asked curiously. It's a guy that can do anything. Yang Wu rarely praised Little Hay like this. Don't try to trick me. I know all the top old guys in this realm, but I've never heard of a guy called Little Hay. That only proves that you're ignorant. Then tell me what kind of abilities it has. I don't believe that it's really that powerful. If it's more powerful than you, what will you do? Then I'll think of a way to heal your martial arts injuries and give you some extra rewards. All right, then I'll tell you just how powerful it is. Let's see if you can compare to it. It has unparalleled battle prowess. It can soar through the clouds. It has the 36 transformation technique. It contains unparalleled immortal techniques. And it also has a unique alchemy. Yang Wu exclaimed. He then began to boast about Little Hay's abilities. The pagoda spirit couldn't help but ask, just who is it? It's a Little Hay dog. Chapter 763. Although the pagoda genie was well-versed in both ancient and modern times, it was still very pure. Yang Wu had praised Little Hay and described it as one of a kind, but in the end, it turned out to be a Little Hay dog. The pagoda genie couldn't take it anymore. Fortunately, the pagoda genie was a sentient artifact spirit. It understood the boundless universe and knew that there were all sorts of strange things. The divine hound race was also one of the most powerful races. It was possible for them to have such a powerful creature. Just based on the pagoda genie's alchemy skills alone, there was no way it could compare with Little Hay. The pagoda genie still raised its doubts. In order to prove the existence of Little Hay, Yang Wu had no choice but to take out the bronze cauldron and demonstrate the alchemy skills that Little Hay taught him. But when the bronze cauldron appeared, the pagoda genie almost knelt down. What is this thing? The pagoda genie sensed that the ancient aura emanating from the bronze cauldron was even more ancient than it. How could it not be astonished? The god of war pagoda was born in ancient times and jointly refined by the ancestors of the 8 warring races. It knew that there weren't many weapons that could compare to it. But this young man, before it took out an ancient cauldron, the aura emanating from the cauldron made the pagoda genie feel apprehensive. The artifact spirit within the cauldron was most likely no weaker than it. Sure enough, a hazy silhouette suddenly appeared within the bronze cauldron. It was a stooped immortal. He was bald and had a strange face. He had a big blue nose and carried a medicine pot in his hand. His eyes were narrowed, as though he had not woken up yet. Who is it that has disturbed this immortal's dream? The cauldron spirit's ethereal voice sounded. It was vast and mighty like the voice of the heavens. The pagoda genie immediately knelt down and said, "Little pagoda did not know of the arrival of an immortal. Please forgive me for not coming out to meet you." Yang Wu was stupefied. He had always known that the bronze cauldron had an extraordinary origin, but he had never thought that it would have an artifact spirit. Moreover, it was something that could make the pagoda genie kneel down. Cauldron spirit took a look at the tower spirit and said, You do have the foundation to become an immortal spirit. Unfortunately, you lack immortal materials and are contaminated with demonic aura. I'm afraid that the tower will be damaged if you stay here for too long. Not only will it be difficult for you to make any further progress, but the tower will also be destroyed. Immortal spirit, please help me. The pagoda spirit had completely lost its pride and was begging for help like a little brother. Cauldron spirit tossed the pot at the tower genie and said, "Drink some to calm your nerves. I can't help you with this." The pagoda spirit acted as if it had found a treasure. It picked up the medicine pot and drank it. Soon, it was drunk and fell to the ground. It seems that the medicinal wine is too strong and is too nourishing. Cauldron spirit put away the medicine pot and muttered to himself. He then looked at Yang Wu and said, "So you are my current little master. What a scum. Hey, old man, is that how you talk about your own master?" Yang Wu regained his senses and mustered up his courage to reply. Could the bronze cauldron gifted to him by Little Hay be able to overturn the heavens? Cauldron spirit smiled and said, "I have yet to acknowledge you as my master." "You really think you are? Wait until you become an immortal medicine master." After saying that, it turned into a wisp of green smoke and disappeared into the bronze cauldron. Yang Wu stared blankly for a moment before he said in a somewhat depressed manner, "How can a spirit weapon be so arrogant? How impudent!" Soon after, he looked at the pagoda spirit who had fainted and ignored it. He walked to the other side and began to ponder on how to make use of the next 10 years to become even more powerful. The first thing he needed to do was to heal his martial injuries. As long as his martial injuries were not healed, he would not be able to peacefully improve his strength. Han Shuo sat down quietly and began to try all kinds of methods to heal his martial injuries. First, he poured mystical aura into the celestial fish. Then, he refined the dragon aura. He hoped that the two-pronged approach would be effective. He had already used this method before. Even if he tried it again, it would not be effective. Soon after, he used his mental strength to enter his dantian and stimulate the celestial fish. This method seemed to be somewhat effective. The celestial fish clearly became more spirited. However, as soon as he withdrew his mental strength, the celestial fish became on the verge of death. It no longer had the strength to devour the xian qi of heaven and earth. It seemed that it would die at any moment. Once the celestial fish died, Yang Wu's cultivation would definitely regress. He might even lose all of his strength. This was definitely not something he wanted to see. Just like that, Han Shuo tried day after day to heal his martial injuries. However, he still did not make much progress. Fortunately, the celestial fish showed no signs of collapsing. He could only temporarily give up on healing his martial injuries and set his sights on the Tao flower of the divine court. He began to digest the martial will left behind by his ancestor bit by bit. He hoped that by tempering himself, he would be able to awaken the celestial fish once more. The martial will of the Yang family ancestor was simply too powerful. Yang Wu had very clear gains every time he visualized it. Even though he suffered from the pain of his head swelling every time, he felt that his mental strength had become more condensed and stronger after it passed. He discovered that after his mental strength was condensed, his senses would become more focused. It was a great help to his vision and hearing. In addition, he had long awakened the power of his ancestral bloodline. As his cultivation level increased, the power of his bloodline also evolved. The bloodline inheritance and the martial will of his ancestor were verified. He increasingly understood that the Yang family did indeed have their reasons for becoming one of the battle clans. After a month, he discovered that the soul power of his battle soul had reached the late stage. This was definitely an unexpected gain. In addition, his martial injuries also showed signs of healing. The celestial fish became more energetic. Could it be that martial injuries are related to the strength of the soul? Yang Wu guessed. He persisted in visualizing his ancestors' martial will again, hoping to improve further. Unfortunately, his progress was limited. His martial injuries did not improve. They remained the same. On this day, the pagoda spirit woke up. He actually looked much younger. There was an additional aura on his body that was not there before. It was of the same origin as the immortal qi in Yang Wu's body. "Young man, where's your immortal cauldron?" The pagoda spirit asked carefully as he looked at Yang Wu. Yang Wu replied proudly, "It's on me." "Why? Do you still want to see it?" I do want to see it." The pagoda spirit rubbed his hands and said embarrassedly, "But it doesn't want to see you. It feels that you've disturbed its sleep." Yang Wu refused. The pagoda spirit was not surprised. He sighed softly and said, "I was presumptuous. And it's good that you know. This is the cauldron little Hay gave me. Now you know how powerful little Hay is, right?" I know. That must be Lord Celestial Hound." "That's good. Tell me more about my martial injuries." "I can't go out for a while. I need to recover quickly before I can continue cultivating. Why don't I send you out now so that you can find Lord Celestial Hound to save you? Do you know how to talk?" In the end, the pagoda spirit reorganized some information and handed it to Yang Wu. These were a few freaks who had recovered from their martial injuries with their own strength. In the end, they had made further progress. Yang Wu discovered that one of the freaks had the most serious martial injuries. It was only in his later years that he managed to recover from his martial injuries by comprehending Tao. Comprehending Tao is the best way to heal martial injuries, Yang Wu concluded. However, what kind of Tao could one comprehend to truly heal martial injuries? After thinking about it, Yang Wu chose to cultivate from the beginning. He felt that martial injuries were related to one's foundation. Perhaps by refocusing on one's foundation, he could also achieve the possibility of recovering from his martial injuries. However, after 3 months, the heavenly fish lost its vitality. His strength regressed, and he fell to the mid-level heavenly fish tier. Yang Wu tried his best to save him, but it was to no avail. He really had no medicine left. What should I do? Yang Wu seemed to be at a loss. He could not help but think of the scenes in the mountain prison. He had been crippled and tortured, but he had never given up. Later, with the help of little Hay, he had broken out of his predicament and soared to the sky. In these past few years, even though he'd encountered danger repeatedly, he hadn't encountered too much trouble in his path of cultivation. His path had been smooth, and he'd easily broken through. Today was the first time he'd encountered a difficult problem in his cultivation. Without little Hay to guide him, he was really panicking and confused. He had reached the 12th floor of the battle tower, reaching a height that no one else could reach. He had more time to cultivate than others. However, not only did he not gain much, but he was also crippled here. If this news spread, he would definitely be called the most failed person in history. Since you can't keep your strength, then don't keep it. It's useless no matter how much you struggle. The tower spirit could not help but sigh. In fact, he was very clear that Yang Wu's martial arts injury should also be a test of the battle tower. However, as the tower spirit, he could not interfere with the rules. This was the common will of the battle clan's ancestors. If you can't keep it, then don't keep it. If you can't keep it, then don't keep it. Yang Wu muttered to himself. He seemed to have grasped a key point, and he quickly understood. That's right. Since the heavenly fish can't be saved, then let it die and refine another one. If I can't keep its strength, then I'll just disperse it and cultivate again. In any case, I have 10 years here. It's enough for me to return to my peak. When Yang Wu thought of this, he made preparations to disperse his strength. If others knew of this, they would definitely think that Yang Wu had gone crazy. Dispersing his strength meant that all his years of cultivation had been wasted. Moreover, it would also harm his body. He might not be able to recover if he cultivated again. This was undoubtedly a big gamble. Yang Wu did not think so. He had advantages that others could not compare to, and that was the peach cord dantian and the undying body. Even if his strength was dispersed, he should be able to refine it again. If his body was injured, the immortal qi could help him recover. None of this was a problem. Thus, he really did disperse his strength. Dispersing his strength was not the same as destroying his dantian. Instead, it was dispersing all the strength in his dantian, shattering the heavenly fish, draining his xian qi, and resealing his meridians and acupoints. Bang bang. Chapter 764. Dispersing one's cultivation was a very painful thing. The power that one had accumulated for many years had been completely destroyed in an instant. This was not as simple as simply consuming it. It would cause great damage to one's body. Yang Wu's body was constantly exploding. His dantian, organs, and meridians were all in turmoil. The power in his body was like a deflated balloon, quickly disappearing without a trace. His body was oozing with blood, and his 7 orifices were also bleeding. It was extremely terrifying to look at. The tower spirit watched this scene from afar. He clicked his tongue and said, "Is this brat committing suicide?" The pagoda spirit didn't do anything to stop Yang Wu. He could only watch from the sidelines. Even if Yang Wu made it to the 12th level, the most he could do was provide some answers regarding cultivation. He couldn't stop Yang Wu from making his decision. After Yang Wu had dispelled all of his power, his body collapsed to the ground like mud. He looked very miserable. Yang Wu tried his best to stay awake. He had to remember the pain today and strive to not let something like this happen again in the future. Yang Wu had lost all of his power, and his body's recovery had slowed down. It was impossible for him to recover in a short period of time. He could only close his eyes and think about the cultivation method of the foundation. When his injuries were healed, he would redevelop his martial body. This is too crazy. Yang Wu felt that what he had done was inconceivable. Just now, he seemed to have been possessed and dispersed his power. Now that he thought about it, he felt that his brain might have gone haywire. 3 days later, his injuries finally recovered and he was able to sit up. He didn't continue to waste time as he murmured, "The martial soldier realm is mainly about opening up the meridians. Even though my strength has dispersed and my meridians and acupoints are closed, it shouldn't be difficult to open up the meridians again. The difficult part is how to open them up to a perfect state." Yang Wu took out the bronze cauldron and took out some herbs. He summoned the heart fire that had not disappeared and began to boil the medicinal liquid. Without the support of his strength, he could only use his will to urge Lan Jiaoji to refine the medicine for him. His mental power was also greatly reduced, and many herbs were wasted during the refinement process. After another 3 days, his injuries had mostly recovered, and the medicinal liquid in the cauldron was also ready. Marrow cleansing liquid. This medicinal liquid was not simple. In addition to the top-quality earth spirit spring, there were other spirit springs and other spirit grasses that could help restore and expand his meridians. For him, This was the best medicinal liquid. Yang Wu climbed into the medicinal cauldron with difficulty and began to soak his body in the medicinal liquid. The medicinal liquid contained a strong, stimulating sensation. After it slowly seeped into his body, a numbing sensation spread throughout his body. Those shrunken meridians were stimulated to recover, and the closed pathways were slowly opened up. Those acupoints also received considerable benefits. Yang Wu silently operated the Regal 9 profound tactics. It had swallowed 3 types of profound essence qi. One was the prenatal profound essence qi, which was extremely beneficial to the body. Another was the frost spring profound essence qi, which could erupt with extreme cold ice qi. The last was the blood fiend profound essence qi, which could increase the power of blood qi and unleash the power of blood fiend. After these 3 types of profound essence qi were absorbed by the supreme 9 profound arts, they could quickly manifest their uniqueness. This time, Yang Wu could finally study their profoundness and use them to their limits. The prenatal profound essence qi was formed by gathering the fetal qi of many infants. This fetal qi came from the mother qi. Even if it was very thin, it could help Yang Wu's body recover to the constitution of an infant. The constitution of an infant was the body of a newborn, and it had unlimited plasticity. Ever since Yang Wu obtained the Regal 9 profound tactics, he had been using it to cultivate. He had not properly studied its uniqueness. This time, he wanted to find out where the profound essence qi that it had swallowed had gone. After several days of exploration, he finally gradually understood that when the 3 types of profound essence qi increased the grade of the Regal 9 profound arts, these profound essence qi had already seeped into every part of his body. Only when the Regal 9 profound arts were operating would they appear. However, if they were not activated, they would hide in the depths of his body, making it difficult to detect their existence. Yang Wu finally understood that when he was fighting, the profound essence qi was not integrated into his profound qi. He had to use it when he needed to integrate it into his profound qi and burst out with a unique power. After Yang Wu understood, he knew what to do next. He first used the pure, profound qi of heaven and earth from the 12th floor to fill his meridians with power, and then channeled it into his dantian. He would first become a martial soldier, and then he would think about it. Yang Wu's cultivation was scattered, and even his 12 principal meridians were damaged. Fortunately, he had soaked in the marrow cleansing liquid. After recovering, he could operate a small cycle, and there was no problem for the Regal 9 profound arts to operate normally. Bang! Bang! After the pure power poured into his meridians, they continuously opened up. Yang Wu was not in a hurry to open up all his meridians in one breath. Instead, he opened them up step by step, striving to open up each meridian to its limit. His marrow cleansing liquid contained the medicinal properties of molding meridians. It could help the meridians become tougher and open up to a greater extent. If the original meridians could only be considered as small streams, then after the stimulation of the marrow cleansing liquid, they could become rivers. When he was in the mountain prison, Little Hay had tempered Yang Wu's body. At that time, Yang Wu thought that his meridians had opened up to their limits, but now he found that there was still a lot of room for expansion. Perhaps it had a lot to do with his current physique. His power had completely dissipated, but his powerful little saint body was still there. Even if it had suffered some damage, it still had incredible power. With such a good foundation, he could reap unexpected benefits when he cultivated again. A month had passed, and Yang Wu had soaked in the medicinal liquid 7 times. The limit of a primary martial weapon had been pushed to the limit by him. His 12 meridians were like a river, with surging xian qi flowing through them. With his strength, even a top-notch martial weapon would not be his opponent. Only warriors were his goal. Yang Wu felt very satisfied, and then he began to break through to the intermediate martial soldier. Everything went smoothly. He once again concocted another marrow-cleansing liquid to temper the muscles of this first realm. He had once reached the top heavenly fish realm, and experience the glory of a high realm. The more it was like this, the more he understood the importance of a foundation. Whether or not he could fight against those of a higher realm depended on whether or not his foundation was strong enough. Just in the martial soldier realm, Yang Wu had spent close to a year polishing it. Every small realm had surpassed the martial soldier realm that he had walked before. When he reached the consummate martial soldier realm, he felt that he had the power to kill an ordinary general realm cultivator. This made even him speechless. In order to verify this point, he made a request to the pagoda spirit. He wanted to use battle to nurture battle, and let the other party summon the most powerful monster of the war race to fight against him at the same realm. I can't find a monster that is too far away for you. I can find one within 100,000 years. The pagoda spirit responded, and then condensed a human figure to appear. This was the Yang family's ancestor, the martial god that Yang Wu had seen on the 10th floor. The young martial god had the power of a martial soldier. His aura was very powerful, as if he was born with endless power. Fight! Yang Wu looked at the young martial god and shouted. He rushed towards the other party and attacked. The young martial god was born extraordinary. Like a black tortoise, he charged forward with domineering power to meet Yang Wu. The young martial god was very strong. He was only in the martial soldier realm, but he could unleash the power of a general realm cultivator. He was not inferior to the current Yang Wu at all. When Yang Wu collided with the other party, he was not able to force the other party back. Impossible, I've already trained to the limit time and time again, but I still don't have the upper hand. As expected of the martial god, Yang Wu exclaimed in his heart. Bang bang. The two of them punched each other, and each punch carried the power of 100 stones. It was quite terrifying. The young martial god was born with a divine body. He activated a powerful abnormal light, wanting to suppress Yang Wu. He had never been defeated in a one-on-one battle since he was young. His will to fight was unparalleled. Yang Wu was forced back by the other party. He found it hard to believe that this was reality. It proved that the martial soldier realm he had opened up was not perfect enough. There was still room for improvement. Yang Wu endured to the end. He continued to charge at the young martial god. The pure power of the martial soldier realm gave off a strong fiery aura. Even a general realm cultivator would have to retreat. In the end, Yang Wu fought to a draw with the young martial god. His body was beaten black and blue. His flesh was torn, and his bones were protruding. It was a miserable appearance. All of this was caused by him suppressing the power of the minor saint war body. If he had used the minor saint war body to fight, it would have been meaningless. After this battle, Yang Wu found his shortcomings. He thought he had polished himself to perfection, but in fact, there were still some flaws. The reason for these flaws was that he was not born with a special war body. Therefore, he continued to use the prenatal mysterious essence Qi to clean up his body again and again. He did not miss a single corner. After another 3 months, he achieved the prenatal martial body. This kind of martial body was rare in the world. A newborn baby would absorb their own Qi into their body and form their own prenatal Qi. This kind of Qi could converge with Xian Qi to form the prenatal mysterious essence Qi. Yang Wu had entered the stage where he could create pre-celestial mystic energy. All the Xian Qi he absorbed had been transformed into pre-celestial mystic energy, which was reshaping his body and foundation. His battle prowess had increased by more than 10 times compared to when he was at the same level. All of a sudden, Yang Wu felt an invincible aura of supremacy that could devour mountains and rivers. Yang Wu once again asked the pagoda spirit to fight the young martial god. This time, Yang Wu fought fiercely against the young war god. He had the advantage from the very beginning, and in the end, he defeated the young war god within 10 moves, achieving an overwhelming victory. The pagoda spirit saw this scene and could not help but exclaim, "A new martial god has appeared." Yang Wu still did not attack the warrior realm. He calmed down and practiced the soldier fist. The soldier fist was a basic fist technique. Every movement was extremely simple, but every punch was enough to kill. It was the foundation of all fist techniques. Chapter 765. The soldier fist allowed one to cultivate fist intent. Yang Wu was recultivating his strength, but his memories and intent were still there, so it was easy to recultivate it. What was hard was that it was still not easy to condense fist Dao in the martial soldier realm. Yang Wu practiced the black tortoise tyrant fist with an invincible stance. Complemented by his aura, the power of the tyrant fist gradually manifested. As Yang Wu practiced, he naturally reached the warrior realm. The warrior realm was different from the martial soldier realm. This realm focused on opening up the acupoints and cultivating celestial qi. Yang Wu had already opened up all the meridians in his body in the martial soldier realm. After reaching the warrior realm, he opened up all the acupoints again. Yang Wu refined the medicinal liquid again, mainly to stimulate the acupoints and stimulate the body's potential, perfecting each realm. The prenatal mystic essence qi also played a huge role in this realm. The prenatal qi entered the acupoints and further perfected the prenatal martial body, helping his body to maintain the vitality of an infant. This martial body had an innate affinity with the heaven and earth mystic qi. Most of the absorbed heaven and earth mystic qi entered the energy center, but a small portion remained in the skin, strengthening the toughness of the skin. After the meridians and acupoints were fully opened, Yang Wu's martial body showed signs of abnormalities. The prenatal qi floated, and the fragrance of a baby filled the air. A true dragon and white tiger moved in the sky, and the vermilion bird and black tortoise appeared together. The black tortoise was the leader. It continuously swallowed the heaven and earth mystic qi and poured it into Yang Wu's bloodline. His bloodline talent was completely awakened. His blood turned from red to blue, and finally from blue to red, becoming the purest ancestral bloodline. The god of war pagoda shone brightly, and the ancestors of the Yang family appeared one after another. Numerous stalwart figures seemed to be looking over from ancient times. They stared at the young man who was sitting cross-legged on the 12th floor with indescribable satisfaction in their eyes. Outside the god of war pagoda, the sages were shocked again. The Yang family ancestral statue is behaving strangely. Could it be that the youth of the Yang family has gained something? What is this strangeness? The Yang family is just a declining family. This is the final radiance of the setting sun. The heavens have blessed our Yang clan. There must be a child who has obtained the inheritance of our ancestor. This is great. In the territory of the Yang family, the bloodline of the black tortoise bloodline under the saint realm of the Yang family had undergone a mutation. Once again, they received a different degree of improvement, including the minor saints who didn't receive a bloodline upgrade last time. Their bloodline power inexplicably increased by a small amount. Everyone in the Yang family was extremely excited. My bloodline power has increased. Could this be the blessing of the ancestors? Mine has also improved. I can now condense the shadow of black tortoise. Haha, this is great. My bloodline power has reached 60%. Is this an illusion? Look, the ancestors have appeared in the ancestral tombs. They're the ones who are protecting our Yang family's disciples. Our Yang family will definitely be able to rise again. In the forbidden grounds, Yang Taiha came before his mother and said calmly, "Mother, do you see this? Our Yang family's bloodline power is about to be revived again." Gong Silan sat cross-legged on top of a holy flower. She revealed a peaceful smile and said, "Ever since that child Yang Wu returned to the family, our Yang family has been blessed with one joyous event after another. He has brought hope to our Yang family. Yes, if it wasn't for him, I would already be dead. But mother, Yang Taiha sighed softly. Without waiting for him to finish speaking, Gong Silan interrupted him and said, "Life and death are up to fate. Don't take this matter too seriously. Mother has already lived long enough. In the future, the Yang family will be handed over to you to protect. Before I die, I hope that you can already support this family. Our Yang family cannot be destroyed." After a pause, she said, "Here is a jade slip. When the Yang family encounters a life and death calamity in the future, you can crush it." Naturally, There will be people who will protect the Yang family. Mother, what is this? Yang Taiha asked curiously. The heavenly palace. On the top floor of the god of war pagoda, Yang Wu once again fought fiercely with the young martial god. The young martial god in the warrior realm became even more ferocious. The image of black tortoise appeared behind his back. He could control the black tortoise battle chi, and his explosive fighting strength was incomparably abnormal. His fist realm energy could kill an earth sea realm martial artist. If this matter was spread out, it would scare many people to death. It was acceptable for a human to kill an earth sea realm martial artist, but for a warrior to kill an earth sea realm martial artist, this was absolutely unimaginable. Yang Wu was not to be outdone. His body produced astral chi, and his offensive and defensive strength were combined. He was evenly matched with the young martial god. The young martial god's battle technique was also very simple. He didn't cultivate too many complicated battle techniques. He only used the black tortoise tyrant fist. His opponent punched again and again as if he wanted to destroy a part of the world. His ferocious spirit was not inferior to the son of the black tortoise. The more Yang Wu fought, the more vigorous his blood energy became. His black tortoise tyrant fist gave birth to a fist intent, and his fists clashed with the young martial gods, causing his opponent's flesh and blood to fly everywhere. Yang Wu also didn't have it easy. The young martial god's ferocious strength was unprecedented. He used both his fists and legs to kick Yang Wu's stomach, and his elbow smashed Yang Wu's sternum. This strength was too strong. Yang Wu fought with the young martial god every 3 days, and each battle had an extraordinary harvest. He only stopped when a young martial god was easily defeated by him. Using the simplest moves to kill the opponent, using the strongest aura to suppress the opponent. This is the path of the strongest. Yang Wu's gaze became deep as he murmured. His own martial intent gradually formed in his mind. This was an extremely shocking comprehension. Only in the harsh environment of ancient times would there be monsters in the warrior realm who could form their own martial intent. At this moment, Yang Wu also found his own direction. After reaching the warrior realm, Yang Wu's kidney's ice blade wings could gradually be activated. He focused on training the ice blade wings. The ice blade wings were condensed from the kidney's water power and supplemented by the frost spring mysterious essence. It could cause even greater damage. It had 2 abilities, flight and assassination. As long as these 2 abilities were polished to the extreme, it could be used as a sure kill move. Yang Wu first honed its flying ability. It was difficult for it to fly for a long time with the power of the kidney alone. If he could inject the frost spring Xian Qi into it continuously, it would be able to fly for a long time. Moreover, when it was carrying out the assassination, it could also be activated repeatedly. Yang Wu didn't just want to do this. He wanted to find its limit. Yang Wu opened the connection between his dantian and his kidney through the 8 extraordinary meridians. His dantian could continuously supply the kidney with power, which helped the ice blade wings to be used continuously. It wouldn't be easy for the kidney to become weak. Through the use of the 8 extraordinary meridians, Yang Wu had also explored their mysteries. The dantian could also converge to the heart and even other internal organs. For example, the heaven and earth mysterious bridge formed between the divine court and the dantian could form a super big cycle with every part of the body in the dantian. Minor circulations and major circulations were the essential operating rules of profound arts for all martial artists. Almost no one would think of the existence of a super major circulations. It would be more appropriate to call it an extreme circulations. This meant that Yang Wu's meridians, acupoints, organs, every corner of his body could be connected to the dantian and could also carry out the operation that others couldn't. Yang Wu used the first embryo mysterious essence to carry out the extreme circulation, and small impurities were discharged from his body. Yang Wu was stunned when he saw this. He murmured, "Didn't I achieve a pure body long ago? Why are there still impurities being discharged?" After thinking for a while, he instantly understood that there were still impurities in the depths of his body. These impurities were expelled under the extreme circulation. As he learned the extreme circulation, the power of the supreme nine mysteries formula was reflected to the greatest extent. Its power to absorb the heaven and earth mysterious chi became even more terrifying. Even if he didn't meditate, it would always operate on its own and strengthen the power of the dantian. The green sprout attached to the dantian also began to grow healthily. Its growth was much faster than before. More than half of the heaven and earth mysterious chi that Yang Wu absorbed was swallowed by it. It was much more than the dantian. Under the extreme circulation, the wisp of immortal chi seemed to have changed. It could absorb the heaven and earth mysterious chi to strengthen its own power, and it could also divide its power and permeate it to various parts of the body. Yang Wu wanted to completely refine it, but his dantian was in a state of rejection. To be precise, it didn't want to refine the immortal chi. The time was not right. Realizing this, Yang Wu didn't force it. He firmly believed that one day he would be able to refine the immortal chi or condense his own immortal chi. Perhaps immortal chi was the ultimate power of a warrior. Yang Wu stepped into the human general realm. The talents of Wind God's leg and Barbaric God's arm were awakened. They were stronger than before. In this realm, he decided to temper these two talents to the limit. The cultivation speed of Wind God's leg was faster, so he would just keep running. He borrowed the power of the mountain from the pagoda spirit and ran madly while carrying the mountain. He ran day after day. The power of his dantian and the power of Wind God's leg merged together. Every step he took could display the realm of shrinking the ground into an inch. The Barbaric God's arm was born with brute force. He could use the barbaric fist to display its advantages. Yang Wu recomprehended the true understanding of the barbaric fist. Every time he practiced, he would gain a lot. In order to speed up the development of these talents, Yang Wu proposed to the pagoda spirit to summon two young monsters. Besides his ancestor, the young martial god, there was another young martial fanatic. This young martial fanatic was also from the battle tribe. He was a monster of a Xianyuan clan and was an invincible existence in the human general realm. I hope I won't go too far this time, Yang Wu murmured as he looked at the two youths who both had invincible auras. These two youths looked to be only 13 or 14 years old, but they were already very sturdy. The explosive power they possessed was enough to tear a monster king alive and kick a demon king. They had the power to subdue dragons and tigers. They were like apes and leopards, and their attacks were like lions and tigers. The kind of suppressive attack forced Yang Wu to retreat again and again. Yang Wu was determined to make himself the strongest in the same realm. He circulated the extreme circulatory cycle technique, and the power in his body was filled with dense, explosive power. He fought madly with his opponents, and his innate mystical abilities were launched one after another. Wind God's leg, Barbaric God's arm. Chapter 766. Yang Wu had innate talents, but so did the other two youths. Moreover, they were no less talented than Yang Wu. The martial god had the black tortoise roar and soul eye, while the martial fanatic had the precognition and chaotic space technique. The black tortoise roar was a sound wave attack. The black tortoise roar could shatter mountains and destroy rivers. Its power was unstoppable. The soul eye was the same as Yang Wu's innate talent. It could directly destroy other people's souls, making it hard to defend against. The art of precognition was a terrifying innate gift of perception. It could predict the opponent's attack in advance and make the most accurate attack in advance. It was an invincible divine ability that was rarely seen in the world. The chaotic space technique was a spleen innate talent that combined the power of gravity and chaos into one. Anyone who was in this space would lose their balance and be full of openings. The martial god and martial fanatics' innate talents were not to be underestimated. When they burst out at the same time, even Yang Wu would find it hard to resist. The martial god roared, causing Yang Wu's ears to explode and his blood chi to boil. The martial fanatic coordinated with him and released the chaotic space technique. Yang Wu's attack immediately collapsed and was full of openings. At this moment, the martial god and martial fanatic's attacks landed on Yang Wu's body at the same time. Black Tortoise Tyrant Fist, Soaring Dragon Fist, Pung, Pung. The tyrannical fist energy landed on Yang Wu's body. Yang Wu's defensive astral energy was shattered, and the fist landed on his body, causing blood to spurt out. Yang Wu was caught off guard and was heavily injured. He finally realized the terror of these two young kings. Kill! Yang Wu mobilized his battle blood power, and an even more powerful defense appeared, wrapping himself in layers. He activated his barbarian god's arm, and different beast phantoms appeared one after another, forcing the martial god and martial fanatic back. Every punch of the barbarian god's arm contained a terrifying amount of brute force. Even if a Peak King was here, he might not be able to take a punch from it. This was the true power of a savage beast, and it had the power to break through all techniques. At the same time, the wind god's leg was also continuously activated. He increased his movement speed, and even if he was disturbed by the chaotic energy, he could still safely retreat from this place and avoid being surrounded again. While Yang Wu was thinking of a countermeasure, the martial god soul attack had already blasted toward his soul. Soul Control Sutra. Yang Wu didn't expect the martial god to have the same talent as him. Fortunately, he had the soul scripture's defense. Otherwise, this soul power would have been enough to severely injure his soul. The martial god and the martial fanatic attacked again. Yang Wu frantically moved and dodged their encirclement. He targeted the martial god and attacked him first. A series of barbaric fists landed on his back with unstoppable force. Yang Wu displayed his innate speed and caught the martial god off guard. The martial god was not so easily defeated. He displayed a strong enough defense to block Yang Wu's attack, but the martial god had already attacked from the side. Yang Wu dodged again and continued to force the martial god to attack. He pushed the speed of the wind god's leg to the limit. The energy in his dantian flowed endlessly into his Yongquan acupoint, and the speed of the wind god's leg increased greatly, reaching an inconceivable speed. Just as Yang Wu was about to kill the young martial god, he unleashed another innate talent, the river-swallowing finger. A finger light that could swallow rivers shot out in an instant, blasting Yang Wu away and causing him to spit out blood. On the other side, the young martial fanatic also unleashed another innate talent, the earth dragon's leg. He stomped on the ground, and an earth dragon rushed out from the ground and attacked Yang Wu. The methods of these young kings were too powerful. Every single one of their innate talents had been tempered to the point of perfection. The slightest carelessness would cause one to become a dead soul at their hands. With their battle prowess, each of them had probably dominated an era. Yang Wu was beaten until his whole body was covered in blood. He had even forced out his two innate talents, the Soul Eye and the Ice Blade Wings. He used the Soul Eye to attack the martial fanatic and the Ice Blade Wings to attack the young martial god. Both of them were quite effective. After a fierce battle, Yang Wu smashed into the ground, exhausted. His whole body was covered in blood, and many of his bones were exposed. He looked extremely miserable, and he felt that he couldn't even lift a finger. This battle was really forced to the limit, and it was very satisfying. However, it ended with him admitting defeat. The Supreme Nine Mysteries formula was operating on its own, and a large amount of Xian-Qi of heaven and earth was flowing into his body. His exhaustion was slowly replenished, and his injured body was gradually recovering. 3 days later, Yang Wu challenged the young martial god and the young martial fanatic to another battle. In this battle, he was defeated again. 10 days later, Yang Wu challenged them again. In this battle, he was defeated again. 20 days later, Yang Wu challenged them again. In this battle, he was defeated again. After a full half a year, Yang Wu finally defeated these two young kings by himself. Many of his innate divine abilities were also honed to the point of perfection. Yang Wu stopped fighting and began to organize the gains of this half a year. He created the first move after recultivating barbaric tyrant style. This was the fusion of the barbaric beast fist and the black tortoise tyrant fist. It had brute force and tyrannical power, And when combined with his invincible power, the power of the fist became even stronger. Yang Wu planned to create a fist technique called martial god fist to pay homage to his ancestor, the martial god. It was a fist technique that was comprehended by the other party through constant training. As for the martial fanatic, he ignored him. After all, they were not family. Yang Wu did not attempt to break through to the Earth-Sea realm. He continued to ask the pagoda spirit to invite 3 peerless monsters to train. About 3 months later, he created the second move of the martial god fist, chaotic style. This was a fist force that was tempered by the martial fanatic's chaotic space. When he punched out, his profound chi would be chaotic and difficult to grasp. In the end, it would hit a vital point. After a few more days, he created the third move of the martial god fist, true martial style. The black tortoise transformed into a true martial, swallowing mountains and rivers, killing a true dragon, and breaking a white tiger. Each of the 3 moves of the martial god fist contained a different essence. It was fused with his martial intent, and he would use these 3 moves to condense his own fist Tao. After Yang Wu created his own fist technique, he cultivated his spear technique. The double-edged 3-dragon spear was extremely compatible with him, and it was his first choice of weapons. Yang Wu concentrated on cultivation. For years passed in a flash, which was only equivalent to 4 days in the outside world. Once his dantian was destroyed, and he cultivated for 4 years to reach the peak of the heavenly fish realm. Today, he finally began to break through to the Earth-Sea realm. His meridians were like surging rivers, his acupoints were like shining stars, and his body of martial arts emitted a fierce vibration. Specks of light turned into a 300-meter-long rainbow. The sun and the moon shone brightly. The black tortoise was in the air, the Milky Way was upside down, and creatures were kowtowing. The scene was astonishing. Profound chi liquefied, Earth-Sea realm. A young man became a king, and hundreds of kings came to greet him. Yang Wu became a king, and his battle aura was shocking. The divine court Tao flower grew another petal, becoming the 9-petal Tao flower. At this moment, Yang Wu's every move had supreme majesty, as if he had the power to look down on all living things. He had become the son of immortals, and his power was indescribable. The martial soldier, warrior, and human general realms are the lowest realms, but they are also the most important realms. When these 3 realms are honed to the limit, it is almost impossible for a martial injury to occur again. The Earth-Sea realm focuses more on expanding one's dantian and tempering one's profound chi liquefied. The more condensed the profound chi liquefied, the more powerful one's power will be. Now, 1 drop of my profound chi liquefied is equivalent to 10 or even 100 drops of other people's profound chi liquefied. Naturally, my battle prowess is stronger than others. Yang Wu found the direction of his cultivation and continued to cultivate. 10 days passed very quickly in the outside world. The prodigies and monsters of the various battle tribes who had entered the God of War pagoda first came out one after another. Among them were Xianyuan Jun, Xing Bijian, Li Wei, LV Weiyu, and the others. They were not dead. If Yang Wu saw them here, he would know that the 5 people he had killed were formed by the God of War pagoda based on their battle prowess. These prodigies and monsters of the battle tribes had a significant increase in their strength. Some had advanced by a major realm, while others had advanced by a minor realm. What they had gained the most was not the increase in their cultivation level, but the inheritance from their ancestors. At the same time, something else was happening in God of War City. The white-haired demoness had regained her looks. She had followed Yang Wu to the God of War pagoda. Although she had changed her appearance, she could not fool her old rival. Xing Sherman was the previous saintess of the Xing family. Now, she had entered the astral pattern realm and become a level 2 astral pattern saint. The white-haired demoness had been searching for suitable cultivation items in God of War City and had been targeted by Xing Sherman. The 2 women met on the main road. Their eyes met, and the air froze. The white-haired demoness trembled. She quickly restrained her emotions and pretended not to see Xingshi Man. Yunshi, do you think you can escape my eyes by wearing a human skin mask? Xingshi Man said seductively. She was very beautiful, and her body was very voluptuous. Her eyes were bright, and the men on both sides of the main road were captivated by her. The white-haired demoness clenched her fists. She looked at Xingshi Man and replied coldly, "Come at me if you want to kill me. Haha, the current you is no longer qualified to be my opponent. If I want to kill you, I can do it with a flip of my palm." Xingshi Man smiled beautifully. "Then what do you want?" The white-haired demoness' eyes seemed to be burning with flames. "I think I was too merciful back then. I only scratched your face and didn't let anyone gang rape you. Fortunately, you gave me a chance to start over." Xingshi Man wiped away her scorpion-like gaze and smiled faintly. She then clapped her hands and said, "Ada, I'll leave this beauty to you. If you can capture her, you can do whatever you want with her." In the next moment, two extremely ugly ape men walked out from behind Xingshi Man. "Huh. Thank you, Saintess, for your reward. I haven't had sex in a long time. I finally have a chance. How nice." Chapter 767. Ada and Air were two ape men. They weren't real humans, but more like apes. They looked ferocious, and their hair was like needles. Their bodies emitted waves of murderous aura. They stared at white-hair she-devil with a strong sense of devastation in their eyes. White-hair she-devil could feel a powerful aura from them. It was the aura of someone who was about to enter the saint realm. They were much stronger than the three scholars. White-hair she-devil didn't even think about it. She quickly retreated. Xingshi Man didn't stop her. She said to the two ape men beside her, "The prey is yours. If you don't catch her, don't come back." "Yes, Saintess." The two ape men responded in unison. They released an extremely powerful aura and chased after white-hair she-devil. White-hair she-devil was very rational. She wanted to return to the Yang family. She believed that the Xing family wouldn't dare to act recklessly there. Who knew that the two ape men were faster than her? Before she could return to the Yang family, she was surrounded by them. "Don't run, beauty. Let's get intimate." Ada laughed. Ayer said, "Surrender and you'll be spared. If you don't surrender, you'll end up worse." White-hair she-devil wasn't weak. After she left the City of Redemption, her combat strength had decreased. However, after this period of adjustment, she gradually recovered to her peak. She raised her delicate palm and struck at Ada, who was blocking her. Her palm energy was floating with a mysterious light. It contained a very powerful killing power. Even a peak small saint wouldn't dare to take it head-on. Ada wasn't afraid at all. He smirked and swung his ape arm. A thick shadow of an arm crushed toward white-hair she-devil like a small mountain. Boom! The two forces collided and a shocking explosion sounded. The white light was shattered and the shadow of an arm smashed toward white-hair she-devil's shoulder. That terrifying pressure scared white-hair she-devil so much that she didn't dare to block it. She moved her ghostly figure and approached Ada. She stabbed at Ada's ape eyes with 2 fingers. Her attack was very tricky. She wanted to win with a surprise attack. When her finger light was about to touch Ada's eyes, a thick layer of armor appeared on Ada's body. It blocked her finger light, and her finger light couldn't move an inch. Weak attack. Ada sneered. He raised his fist and punched toward white-hair she-devil's abdomen. Bang! Ada's attack was very fast. White-hair demoness didn't have time to dodge before her stomach was hit. Her body flew backward like a cannonball, flying further and further away. Not good. This girl wants to take advantage of the situation to escape. Ayer exclaimed. Then why aren't you chasing after her? Ada shouted and quickly chased after white-hair demoness. Her speed is not bad, but it won't be that easy for her to escape from us. Ayer laughed, and a majestic wave of chi rolled out around him. In an instant, his figure was already thousands of feet away. The 2 ape men relentlessly chased after the white-hair demoness. White-hair demoness' speed was not as fast as theirs, and they caught up to her in a short while. The commotion they caused was very big, and many surging profound energy attacks continuously exploded without end. Such incidents were common in the God of War pagoda, so not many people paid attention to them. When white-haired Demonis finally returned, Lei Zongjuan, who was cultivating in the Yang family, realized the situation. He went to the city to gather information and quickly found out that something had happened to white-haired Demonis. The Xing family found her. Lei Zongjuan frowned and muttered to himself. Then, he transformed into a ghost-like figure and chased in a certain direction. After Lei Zongjuan condensed his ghost body, his cultivation speed increased by leaps and bounds. Now, his combat strength was not inferior to white-haired Demonis. He was just a step away from the perfected minor saint realm. It was not impossible for him to return to the sage realm. The ghost cultivation art that Yang Wu had imparted to him was too magical. In the God of War pagoda, the prodigies and monsters who had entered first came out one after another. A sage voice rang out. Li Xiaoming has reached the 4th level of the God of War pagoda. Cultivation ended. Qin Shenluo has reached the 5th level of the God of War pagoda. Cultivation ended. Lu Xiaohua has reached the 3rd level of the God of War pagoda. Cultivation ended. One by one, the prodigies came out of the God of War pagoda. Some were happy, while others were sad. They were happy because they had obtained a satisfying harvest, while others were sad because they had not obtained much. The sages of the various battle tribes were listening to the pagoda guardian's announcement. They all wanted to know who would be able to reach the top of the God of War pagoda. In the past 5,000 years, no one had reached the top of the God of War pagoda. They were all hoping that someone would break the record this time. LV Jialian has reached the 8th level of the God of War pagoda. Cultivation ended. When the sage voice rang out, everyone in the square exclaimed in surprise. LV Jialian is so talented. She actually reached the 8th level and obtained a lot of cultivation time. Her strength must have increased by a lot. I really did not expect her to hide her strength so well. I always saw her following behind Xing Bian, and thought she was just a pretty face. It seems like after this trip to the God of War pagoda, she's qualified to compete for the Dragon Phoenix list. I'm so envious. LV Jialian appeared. She was already beautiful and was dressed in white. She could not suppress her aura, and there seemed to be a dragon roaring behind her. This was the heavenly fish dragon transformation stage. She had reached the dragon transformation stage. She revealed a sweet smile and charmingly glanced at the person who came out first. Then, she quickly retracted her aura and swept toward the Liu family's location. Following that, the pagoda guardian announced the levels of a few more people. The highest level they had reached was the 7th level. No one had surpassed the 8th level. Qin Yueguan has reached the 10th level of the God of War pagoda. Cultivation ended. This was the leader of the younger generation of the Qin family, Qin Yueguan. He was tall and carried 2 sabers on his back. After he came out, he bowed slightly to the God of War pagoda and returned to the Qin family. Everyone was impressed by Qin Yueguan's temperament. He was powerful and courteous. Many female geniuses' eyes were filled with lust. Qin Yueqiong has reached the 9th level of the God of War pagoda. Cultivation ended. Qin Yueqiong was a tall and beautiful woman. She was Qin Yueguan's younger sister. Her talent was also quite outstanding. Then, Xing Bijian, LV Weiyu, and the others from the Xing family appeared. Xing Bijian has reached the 9th level. Cultivation ended. LV Weiyu has reached the 9th level. Cultivation ended. Xing Biao has reached the 9th level. Cultivation ended. Sun Yong has reached the 9th level. Cultivation ended. These people were destined to be the dazzling stars of this batch of God of War pagoda disciples. Ho Yu has reached the 10th level. Cultivation ended. Ho Tong has reached the 10th level. Cultivation ended. At this moment, everyone present was in an uproar again. It's the Ho family. They are too sick. They actually reached the 10th level. The Ho siblings are so powerful. I'm afraid no one can beat them this time. After reaching the 10th level, one day in the outside world is equivalent to 3 months in the pagoda. They have obtained close to 3 years' worth of cultivation time. They're going to leave everyone else in the dust. The host siblings were not as outstanding as the other monstrous geniuses of the war tribes. On the contrary, they looked very ordinary. They wore beast-skin clothes and carried a huge bow on their back. Their eyes shone with an indescribable light. It was as if they were arrows that could pierce through everything. After the host siblings came out, the others who came out later all became background characters. Only the people from the Xianyuan family could be compared to them. Xianyuan Bai has reached the 10th level. Cultivation ended. Yuanyuan Jun has reached the 11th level. Cultivation ended. The second prince of a Xianyuan family has reached the 11th level. As expected of the monstrous genius of the royal family. This is the first time in 5,000 years. Look at his aura. It seems like he has reached the realm of a high-grade minor saint. Sick. No one can shake the top ranking of the war tribes. That Xianyuan Bai seems to be the second prince's follower. He has also reached the 10th level. The people of the Xianyuan family are really unkind. The Xianyuan family was the leader of the war tribes. The monstrous geniuses they nurtured did not disappoint. A total of 5 of them reached the 9th level. The others were at least at the 7th level. They were much stronger than the other war tribes. At this moment, the geniuses of the Yang family appeared. Those who appeared at the beginning had only reached the 4th and 5th level. None of them had even reached the 6th level. This caused the other war tribes to mock them. What kind of people did the Yang family bring? They are too weak. There is no hope. In another 100 years, the Yang family will definitely withdraw from the war tribes. Didn't they say that the Yang family has 1 or 2 decent geniuses? It seems like the rumors are all fake. Let's wait and see. Perhaps there will be another surprise. At this moment, Shu Yujun and Bai Luoyun also came out. Shu Yujun had tempered her strength to the late stage of the heavenly fish realm. She was not a war tribe member and could only cultivate to the 3rd level. To be able to continuously increase her strength in such a short period of time, her talent was definitely not ordinary. This was also due to the body-tempering medicinal liquid that Yang Wu had given her to cultivate. It had reshaped her constitution and helped her cultivate faster. It had only been half a year since she left the Hung Mountain sect. To be able to continuously increase her strength, she had gained a lot. Bai Luoyin was relatively low-key. He was a mutated tribe member and did not gain as much as he had imagined. He was somewhat disappointed. The Lord should be coming out soon, right? Bai Luoyin said softly. Yang Wu treated his own people equally. Bai Luoyin had also obtained the body-tempering medicinal liquid. His constitution had improved a lot compared to before. He was dissatisfied with the slow progress of his realm. During this period of time, he had already reached the middle stage of the heaven realm. If he wanted to reach the high stage of the heaven realm in a short period of time, unless he took the heavenly water pill, he would have to continue cultivating step by step. He was a water tribe member. Only places with a lot of water xianxi were the best places for him to cultivate. On land, it was normal for him to improve slowly. I went in around the same time as him. It should be soon. Shu Yujun nodded in response. I wonder which level the Lord reached. Bai Luoyun muttered softly. Yang Tixiao reached the 8th level. Cultivation is over. Yang Tixiao came out of the battle tower and looked down at the Yang family geniuses. His eyes were filled with pride as he said, "In the future, I will still be your leader. Do you hear me?" Chapter 768. Before entering the God of War pagoda, Yang Tixiao had abandoned all his companions and entered the pagoda alone. He did not want to be burdened by others and missed the opportunity to cultivate. In the end, the heavens did not disappoint him. After entering the God of War pagoda, he had relied on his own efforts to reach the 8th level. After a period of training on the 8th level, his strength had increased significantly. Although he could not break through to the mid-level dragon transformation stage, he was only one step away. He firmly believed that he could easily reach the mid-level dragon transformation stage if he cultivated for another half a year. He believed that no one else in the Yang family could compare to him. That was why he had spoken so arrogantly, hoping to regain his prestige. The Yang family prodigies looked at him coldly, ignoring him. "What's with your attitude?" Yang Tixiao released his aura and the Azure Battle Force formed a dragon image that looked down on his fellow prodigies. Brother Ti Xiao, don't be unreasonable, Yang Jing said calmly. Sister Ying, what do you mean? Do you also think that I'm not fit to be the leader? Yang Ti Xiao retorted unhappily. In the past, Yang Jing was his loyal follower. The moment you abandoned us, you were no longer fit to be our leader, Yang Tigua said loudly. Yang Tigua, you're courting death. Yang Ti Xiao shouted angrily. Kill me if you can. Yang Tigua raised his head and replied stubbornly. That's right. You're not fit to be our leader. We only have one leader, and that's the Yang family head, another Yang family prodigy said. How can a fellow who abandoned his companions be our leader? I'm not blind, someone else mocked. Very good, all of you. I want to see which level Yang Wu can reach in the end. With his strength, he definitely won't be able to reach the 5th level. When the time comes, you will know what to choose, Yang Ti Xiao said angrily. He had thought that after reaching the 8th level, he would regain the support of his brothers and sisters. Now, it seemed that he was wrong. Yang Qianlong has reached the 8th level. His training is over. Another voice sounded. Yang Qianlong strode out of the God of War pagoda. His majestic aura was quite oppressive. His strength had broken through to the mid-level dragon transformation stage. Yeah, the Yang family still has 1 or 2 good seedlings. Yeah, it's a pity that they're not as united as they used to be. They're fighting amongst themselves. With the appearance of Yang Qianlong, he had saved some face for the Yang family, but it was also limited. The other battle clans had at least 10 people who had reached the 7th floor, while the Yang family only had 4. The gap was not small at all. The geniuses of the Yang family surrounded Yang Qianlong and congratulated him. It was a completely different treatment from when Yang Ti Xiao came out. Yang Ti Xiao cursed inwardly. Just like me, he only managed to reach the 8th level. Why did he manage to break through to the mid-level dragon transformation realm before me? Could it be that my talent is inferior to his? That's impossible. Yang Qianlong also saw Yang Ti Xiao. He only glanced at him contemptuously and ignored him. At this time, he no longer put Yang Ti Xiao in his eyes. Yang Ba has ascended to the 10th level. Cultivation complete. Suddenly, the crowd burst into an uproar. Someone from the Yang family actually managed to ascend to the 9th floor. This was even more shocking than the siblings ascending to the 10th floor. The Yang family had declined for many years. The main reason was that their battle blood had gradually been abandoned, and their battle prowess had declined. Their descendants were also getting worse with each generation. Suddenly, someone's talent exceeded their expectations. It was indeed shocking. With Yang Ba's appearance, his cultivation level had skyrocketed, reaching the mid-level dragon transformation realm. The geniuses of the Yang family narrowed their eyes at his imposing aura. It was as if there was a giant axe floating in the air, quietly releasing its own dazzling light. Yang Ti Xiao did not dare to look him in the eye. His heart twisted as he thought to himself, how can someone from the Black Tortoise bloodline be more powerful than me? Impossible. Yang Ba's appearance was like a stone thrown into a lake, causing ripples. Everyone quietly remembered him in their hearts. In the future, he might be the pillar of the Yang family. Soon, the lake that had not yet calmed down seemed to have a huge meteorite falling from the sky. Everyone was so shocked that they did not know what to do. They were unable to recover for a long time. Xinyuan Huowu ascended to the 12th floor. Her cultivation is over. The sacred voice reverberated throughout the surroundings of the God of War Pagoda. Even the God of War City could hear it clearly. A saint from the Xinyuan family shouted excitedly, "Good, good, good." The word good represented his indescribable excitement. The geniuses and monsters of the various battle clans looked up. That beautiful lady who seemed to have transformed into a phoenix was like a peerless goddess descending. Her limitless radiance intimidated this part of the world. Xinyuan Jun stared, gritted his teeth, and clenched his fists. He was unable to calm down for a long time. Blood seeped out from the corner of his mouth, and there were also traces of blood on his palms. His pride was mercilessly crushed. Ascending to the 12th floor, obtaining 10 years of cultivation time. 10 years of time was extremely precious for any monster. It was enough for them to leave their peers far behind. Xinyuan Huwu retracted her aura and landed barefoot. She looked towards the Yang family and muttered, "That guy still hasn't appeared? Who is that guy?" Although her voice was soft, everyone's hearing was extraordinary. They all heard her words. Immediately, such a question appeared in everyone's mind. Soon, everyone came back to their senses and crowded towards her to congratulate her. Even the arrogant host siblings were convinced by Xinyuan Huwu's performance. Originally, only 1 or 2 diehard followers were left around Xinyuan Jun. The rest had squeezed into the crowd. "The Lord still hasn't come out," Bai Luoyun said worriedly. Yang Ba said from the side, "He should be coming out soon. He should be able to reach the 10th floor at least." Yang Xiaoxue made a conservative guess. "He's only at the high-level heavenly fish realm. It's already very heaven-defying for him to reach the 9th floor." Yang Qianlong said calmly. He didn't mean to look down on Yang Wu, but Yang Wu's realm was still a bit low. "If I can reach the 9th floor, the Lord can at least reach the 11th floor." Yang Ba said with certainty. He wishful thinking. Yang Tixiao sneered. "Do you want to die?" Yang Ba glared at Yang Tixiao and said faintly, "Do you think I'm afraid of you?" Yang Tixiao replied, "Not to be outdone. I can kill 100 people like you with one hand." Yang Ba said coldly. He raised his arm and slashed at Yang Tixiao. "Don't make a fool of yourself." The voice of the Yang family's saint, Yang Liushi, rang out. A saintly aura descended and pressed Yang Ba's arm back. After a while, more and more prodigies came out. They didn't bring too many surprises. Even if some inconspicuous monsters reached the 9th floor, they didn't attract too much attention. Their radiance was overshadowed by Xinyuan Huwu. She was simply too dazzling. Night gradually fell, and the sky became somewhat oppressive. All the prodigies and monsters who entered the God of War pagoda had basically come out. Most people were overflowing with joy from their gains. They were also waiting for the pagoda guardian to announce the end of their trip so that they could return to God of War City to celebrate. Everyone is out, right? Why aren't they announcing the end? Could it be that someone hasn't come out? A saint whispered. Probably. Some children passed the test to reach the God of War pagoda. They came in late, so it's normal for them to come out later, a saint replied. My family's children have all come out. We plan to leave. We can't wait any longer. Same for my family. Let's go together. It's about time anyway. All the clans were preparing to leave the God of War pagoda. Only the Yang family was still waiting. There was still a youth who hadn't come out. Elder Sage, let's go too, Yang Tixiao suggested to Yang Liushi. If you spout any more nonsense, I'll slap your mouth. Yang Liushi couldn't stand Yang Tixiao and couldn't help but roar at him. Yang Tixiao's ears were shattered by Yang Liushi's voice. His blood boiled, and he almost fainted from the pain. When the other prodigies saw that he had suffered such retribution, they all revealed gloating expressions. No one was willing to sympathize with a despicable person who had so easily abandoned his companions. You came together, so you can go back together. Not one person can be missing, Yang Liushi said to his family's disciples. The Yang family's disciples all said in unison, Let's go back together. Not one person can be missing. Their aura was majestic, and their momentum was shocking. The other battle tribe members all looked over. Some were impressed, some were disdainful, and some were mocking them. Just as the battle tribe members were leaving, the God of War pagoda suddenly shook, giving everyone a big fright. Suddenly, an impatient voice rang out. Kid, your time is up. Why are you still here? Time is up? Why don't I know? Old man, don't lie to me. Come, call a few more opponents out to compete with me. Hurry up and leave. I can't break the rules of the God of War pagoda. It's not impossible for me to leave. Give me some reward. It's not right for me to return empty-handed. Kid, don't go overboard. Don't think that I can't do anything to you. Do you believe that I can suppress you here forever? Suppress me if you can. Let's see who suppresses who. My young master, I beg you to let Small Pagoda go. If you continue to stay here, something will really happen. I'll give you some Xin Shi, and you can leave immediately. That's more like it. Goodbye, old man. In front of the god of war pagoda, everyone was stunned. They heard someone talking to the god of war pagoda's spirit and forcing it to beg. What was going on? Could it be that the god of war pagoda's spirit had manifested? A peerless living being had crossed through space and come here to take away the god of war pagoda? The sages guarding the god of war pagoda were so scared that they were trembling. What the F***CK was going on? Bang bang. The god of war pagoda shook continuously, and a boundless light was released. A ray of light appeared, and a figure gradually enlarged. A wretched smile appeared in front of everyone. I'm sorry to have kept everyone waiting. Chapter 769. Some of the voices sounded relaxed, while others sounded casual. Everyone present could hear them clearly. This voice was very magnetic and made people feel comfortable. However, they soon found it very irritating. Yang Wu has reached level 12 of the god of war pagoda. Cultivation ends, the guardian announced loudly. The pagoda guardian announced loudly. He paused for a moment before adding, the god of war pagoda cultivation ends here. The god of war pagoda expedition had ended. Everyone was still in a daze. The figure of the young man gradually became clearer. His figure was tall and straight, like a sharp war spear, but also like a descending young dragon. Every step he took seemed to be stepping on their hearts, making them feel uneasy. Could it be a mistake? How could he reach level 12 of the god of war pagoda? I think it's possible. It's reasonable for the 7th princess to be able to do it. What ability does he have? Could it be that the god of war pagoda has malfunctioned? I think I heard the god of war pagoda's spirit talking to someone just now. Could it be this kid? Could it be that he received some amazing legacy and forced the god of war pagoda to compromise? Reaching a certain level doesn't mean that he will definitely become a powerful person in the future. For so many years, countless prodigies and monsters have died prematurely. He must also have died prematurely. Whispers of discussion spread out. Not many people could accept the fact that Yang Wu had ascended to the 12th floor. The Yang family sage, Yang Liushi, swallowed his saliva and asked Yang Wu, Yang Wu, you really reached the top? Everyone in the Yang family looked at Yang Wu, waiting for him to answer personally. Yang Wu stretched and said, haven't the results been announced? Does Elder Emo not believe the god of war pagoda's testimony? Yang Liushi laughed and said, haha, I believe it. I believe it. Come, let's go back. His old face was smiling like a chrysanthemum flower. He couldn't hide his excitement. How many years has it been? Finally, someone from the Yang family has reached the top of the god of war pagoda. The heavens are really blessing the Yang family. Just as Yang Wu was about to bring Yang Wu away, Xin Yuan Hou nimbly flew over. She waved at Yang Wu and said, hey, little Wu, have you forgotten about this princess? You actually didn't come over to pay your respects. There was a crafty look in her eyes, and her cute, elf-like smile instantly made the hearts of the surrounding prodigies race. Yang Wu's face darkened as he replied, little girl, who is little Wu? Do you believe that I will spank your ass? Bang! When the crowd heard Yang Wu's words, many of them were so frightened that they fell to the ground. This guy was actually flirting with the 7th princess of Xianyuan Kingdom. This guy's guts were too big. The sky prides of the Xianyuan clan all had ugly expressions on their faces. In the next moment, the 7th princess's reaction made them feel as if they had eaten a fly. It was the same for the sky prides of the other clans. If looks could kill, Yang would be riddled with holes. Hee, come and hit me if you dare. Let's see who will hit who. Xianyuan Hou gently twisted the little man's waist and said with a crafty smile. Yang Wu took 2 steps back and waved his hand. Forget it. I won't bicker with a little girl. Sage Elder, let's go. Little Wu, if you dare to leave, I will announce to the world that you took advantage of me, Xianyuan Hou said coquettishly as she unhappily poked the little man's waist. This time, everyone exploded. This guy actually took advantage of the 7th princess. Did he eat a bear's heart or a leopard's guts? I can't take it anymore. I will break his arms to vent the hatred in my heart. The 7th princess is the goddess in my heart. Blaspheming her is a heinous crime. That brat is only at the heavenly fish realm. I can slap him into meat paste with one hand. That brat doesn't seem like a good person. He's like a damn eunuch. A toad wants to eat a swan. I must teach him a good lesson and tell him to keep a low profile. The sky prides of the various battle clans, as well as the sky prides who came from other places, were all eager to make a move on Yongwu. Wu, just you wait. I will definitely spank you next time. Yongwu didn't want to cause trouble for the time being. He also knew that Xianyuan Wu did it on purpose. After saying those words, he quickly left with Yang Liushi. Xianyuan Wu looked at the miserably leaving Yongwu with a smile that made all living things pale in comparison. The various clans left the god of war pagoda one after another. They wouldn't end here. Instead, they would return to God of War City to celebrate. During the celebration, everyone could discuss the Tao with each other, and they could also spar with each other to verify their gains from this trip. This was a rule set by the various battle clans. After everyone returned to Battle God City, the Xianyuan clan invited all the Sky Prides to the Divine Wine Pavilion to celebrate in the name of Xianyuan Wu. They would be responsible for all the expenses. At this moment, the news of Xianyuan Wu reaching the 12th level of the God of War Pagoda had spread throughout Battle God City. Everyone was shocked. The 7th princess was the daughter of a god. She was blessed by the heavens and would definitely have a place among the major figures in the future. In addition, Yongwu had also reached the 12th level. It was a pity that he was overlooked by others. Someone released the news of him reaching the 12th level. When everyone heard this news, they just laughed it off. No one believed it. They felt that this unknown youth didn't have the ability to reach the 12th level. Yes, there must be a problem with the God of War Pagoda. The celebration at the Divine Wine Pavilion hadn't even started, but there was already a huge uproar among the various clans. In the Xianyuan clan's restricted area, Elder Sage's voice rang out. Immediately investigate Yongwu's background and which branch of the Yang clan's descendant he is from. Do it quickly. Elder Sage, his strength isn't that great. Why take him seriously? Someone replied. Just based on Howu's special treatment of him. That kid must be extraordinary. It's better to get to the bottom of it as soon as possible. 800 years of history can't be repeated. All right, I'll do it immediately. The Ho clan, the Li clan, the Qin clan, and other major clans were all playing out the same scene. No one knew the significance of the God of War Pagoda better than them. Every level represented a different level of talent. The Yang clan had been in decline for many years. Now that such a monster had suddenly appeared, they had to be on guard. In the Xing clan's territory, Xing Sherman was lying lazily on a soft couch, revealing 2 beautiful legs that were as translucent as ivory. None of the hot-blooded youths in the hall dared to raise their heads to look at her directly. They were afraid of getting a nosebleed. A youth who reached the 12th level appeared in the Yang clan. Xing Sherman's voice rang out slowly. It was like a jade bead falling on a plate as it reverberated in the hall. Yes, Auntie. It's Yongwu who brought the white-haired demoness out of the City of Redemption, Xing Bian replied. Auntie, we have to kill him quickly, Xing Bijin suggested. The Yang clan is really an annoying clan. Xing Sherman sighed. After pausing for a moment, she continued, since he can ascend to the 12th floor, then let's test if he really has that kind of ability. You guys spread the news that the white-haired demoness has already fallen into our hands. If he wants to save her, then let him head to the Devil Cloud Cave. So Annie already has a countermeasure. Then this time, let's make sure he doesn't return. What if he brings the Yang clan's sage with him? Who cares about the Yang clan's sage? In the Yang clan's territory, Yang Wu was summoned by Yang Liushi alone for questioning. Sacred Elder, is there anything I can help you with? Yang Wu asked Yang Liushi. Yang Liuyu, Yang Liushi, and Yang Mingrong, the 3 sacred elders, took special care of Yang Wu and even sent him imperial edicts. Yang Wu was still very respectful to them. Each imperial edict consumed the sage's spiritual energy to create. Usually, they would only give it to their direct descendants or important juniors in the clan. It was difficult for others to obtain one. Yang Wu had the identity of a sinner's blood. He had always been grateful that the other party treated him so well. Sigh, Yang Wu, You should keep a low profile. Yang Liushi looked at Yang Wu and sighed softly. I'm already keeping a low profile. Yang Wu was puzzled. You've already reached the top. Why are you still keeping a low profile? Yang Liushi asked in return. Reaching the top is against the law. Reaching the top is not against the law. You've even brought glory to our Yang clan. It's just that you'll be in danger in the future. Some people will definitely secretly carry out assassinations against you. Some people just don't see our Yang clan as good. Are you talking about the Xing clan? The Xing clan is just one clan. They're on the surface, but there are still some despicable people in the shadows. I want to take you back to the clan now to avoid any accidents. If that happens, I'll be the center of the clan. With you here, can't you protect me? If you keep a low profile, I can protect you. Now that you and the little princess of the Xinyuan clan have reached the top at the same time, the talent you've displayed will definitely put you on their must-kill list, Yang Liushi said seriously. He paused for a moment before adding, however, this kind of thing can't be passed just by keeping a low profile. You're so outstanding. Sooner or later, you'll shine. Thank you for the praise, Sage Elder. Yang Wu's face was red from being praised by the Sage Elder. He scratched the back of his head and laughed. There's no time to lose. I'll take you away first, Yang Liushi said decisively. Do we have to leave now? I still want to find more good things here, Yang Wu said reluctantly. We have to leave now. Otherwise, when they're fully prepared, I don't have the confidence to take you away, Yang Liushi said seriously. Then I'll inform my companions. I'll go with you. We'll leave once we're done. Yang Wu, accompanied by Yang Liushi, went to see Shu Yujun and by Luo Yun to inform them of the news. When he saw them, Lei Zhongjuan appeared faintly and said, Master, the white-haired demoness is being pursued by the Xing clan. The situation is not good. What happened? Yang Wu's gaze darkened as he asked. 3 days ago, the white-haired demoness was ambushed when she went out. After I heard the news, I quickly investigated the matter. However, I was stopped by the Xing family. Just now, they sent word that they want my lord to go to the Demon Cloud Cave to collect the white-haired demoness corpse. Lei Zhongjuan said honestly, You can't go. I'll take you back to your clan first. Yang Liushi grabbed Yang Wu's arm and said in an unquestionable tone, Sage Elder, I'm sorry. I can't go back now, Yang Wu said with a trace of killing intent. Chapter 770. You have to go even if you don't want to. How could Yang Liushi let Yang Wu be in danger? This was clearly a trap set by the Xing family. Just as he was about to take Yang Wu away, Yang Wu emitted an inexplicable aura. It was as if a black tortoise had awoken. In that instant, his hand slipped out of Yang Liushi's grasp. Yang Liushi was stunned. He was a saint and had reached the 4th level astral mark realm. Even a small saint would find it difficult to break free from his grasp. Yang Wu was only at the heavenly fish realm, but he could break free from his grasp. Was he hallucinating? Are you really only at the mid-level heavenly fish realm? Yang Liushi asked Yang Wu, his eyes wide. At that moment, Yang Liushi could sense that Yang Wu was only at the mid-level heavenly fish realm. It was 1 level lower than before he had entered the God of War Pagoda. He had always thought that it was an illusion, but now it seemed that it was true. Yang Wu nodded. Yes, Sacred Elder. Then he said, I can't go back with you. I have to save my companion. I don't want anything to happen to her. You can't put yourself in danger. Besides the Xing family's ambush at the demonic cloud cave, there will also be all sorts of ferocious foreign tribes searching for treasures. There will also be demons and even saints. I can't guarantee your safety, Yang Liushi said firmly. He released his saint aura and suppressed Yang Wu, hoping that Yang Wu would back off. Everyone present could feel Yang Liushi's saint aura. They couldn't help but lower their heads, not daring to look him in the eye. Yang Wu ignored the pressure and met Yang Liushi's gaze. Sacred Elder, a young eagle can't fly without experiencing wind and rain. I hope you won't stop me. I didn't waste my time climbing to the 12th level of the God of War Pagoda. His face was full of confidence. There was an invisible aura that even a saint couldn't ignore. Yang Liushi was a saint, and his will was incomparably firm. He would not easily change his decision, but at this moment, he was actually convinced by Yang Wu. Yang Liushi nodded and said, "What a good saying! A young eagle that has not experienced wind and rain cannot fight against the sky." "Then you go. Once a Saint Realm expert intervenes, I can save you. I will not interfere with those below the Saint Realm." "Thank you, Elder Sheng." Yang Wu bowed slightly and called out to Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Ba. "Zhongjun, Yang Ba, come with me. Yujun, Luo Yun, you guys stay behind." Bai Luo Yun immediately replied, "My lord, I want to go too." Shu Yujun said, "Then be careful. I'll wait for your safe return." "Yes." Yang Wu nodded and then went forward to hug Shu Yujun. Then he turned and left the Yang clan in high spirits. Shu Yujun was unable to recover from this hug for a long time until Bai Luo Yun complained, "Miss, why don't we go? We can also help our lord." Shu Yujun recovered and replied, "If we go, we'll be a burden. Let's go. Go back and speed up our cultivation. Otherwise, we'll be left further and further behind in the future." She turned and returned to her room, murmuring in her heart, "After this trip, I should return to Mount Hung and go into seclusion. Don't even think about shaking me off." Bai Luoyin was stunned in place for a while. Then he fiercely hammered his chest and said, "Speed up my cultivation. Even on land, I will find a path of cultivation that belongs to me." Yang Wu left the Yang clan with Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Ba. Their destination was the demonic cloud cave. Just as they walked out of the Yang clan, 3 geniuses flew over and blocked their way. One of them revealed an arrogant expression and said, "On the orders of the 7th princess, we invite you to the Celestial Wine Pavilion for a party." Yang Wu didn't even look at the other party. He unfolded his body and flew out of the city. Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Ba followed him like shadows. The 3 geniuses stood in place and ate a face full of dust. The one who had just spoken cursed angrily, "Bastard, why is this brat so arrogant? He didn't even accept the 7th princess invitation. He's dead for sure. He's so fast." Another genius pointed in the direction Yang Wu left and exclaimed, "Is he really only at the heavenly fish realm?" The 3rd genius revealed an expression of disbelief. The genius who had spoken first still cursed, "What's the use of being fast? If I see him again, I'll beat him to the ground. What a rude guy." The demonic cloud cave was outside the war god city. It was an extremely dangerous place. It was a place where humans and evil demons often fought fiercely. It was also a place where alien races liked to hunt for treasures. It was rumored that the demonic cloud cave was an ancient secret realm connected to an unknown space. From time to time, some ancient items would flow out from there. Every time an item flowed out, it would cause a storm of blood. Small or veins could often be found in the surroundings of that secret realm. Every small or vein was extraordinary wealth to an individual. Therefore, many demon hunting squads would use the banner of demon hunting to search for ore veins in this place. The majority of these demon hunting squads were formed by loose cultivators from various places. The War God clan each had their own territory. Normally, they wouldn't get involved in this competition. They had already eaten the meat, so they had to leave some soup for others. Only in this way would others not be so jealous of the territory they occupied. There were demons, alien races, and demon hunting squads. This secret realm was incomparably chaotic. Killing and robbing were common occurrences. The white-haired demoness was being chased by Ada and Ayer. She had snuck into the vicinity of the demonic cloud cave. Whether she was captured or not, there was no final conclusion. However, it was a fact that she was in danger. "My lord, if we rush over rashly, we will definitely fall into the Xing family's trap." Lei Zhongjuan reminded Yang Wu, "When I came out, we fell into the trap." Yang Wu calmly replied, "That woman is useless. Why don't we just let her go?" Yang Ba indifferently said, "Brother Ba, as long as they are our companions, we can't just watch them die. Just like how you saved me back then." Yang Wu firmly replied. Yang Ba's eyes flickered slightly. Then, he lightly nodded and said, "I know." Lei Zhongjuan also had a trace of admiration on his face. He lightly sighed in his heart. This is a man who can achieve great things. When they just flew out, more than 10 powerful auras locked onto the three of them. Soon, more than 10 powerful forces attacked them. An ambush, Lei Zongjun exclaimed. Activate the soul-suppressing pot and block these attacks. Don't get entangled with them. Yang Wu ordered. Yang Wu had already given the soul-suppressing pot to Lei Zongjun. Although the weapon spirit of the soul-suppressing pot had already recognized him as its master, in the hands of Lei Zongjun, it could still unleash the power of a powerful saint weapon. Without saying anything, Lei Zongjun swung the soul-suppressing pot. The pot became as big as a mountain and blocked the attacks. Lei Zongjun protected Yang Wu and Yang Ba as they quickly moved forward. The more than 10 people chased after them. Each of them had reached the level of minor saint, and together they were quite powerful. One of them knocked an arrow on his bow, and an arrow shot out like a meteor towards Yang Wu. Someone threw out the long spear in his hand. The long spear turned into a dragon. Its target was also Yang Wu. Someone threw the thunder explosion pearl, flame pearl, and other items at Yang Wu. These ferocious forces were enough to surround and kill a top minor saint. You are courting death. Lei Zongjun roared angrily and swung the soul-suppressing pot. The pot emitted an extremely powerful saint aura and swept away the attacks one by one. Bang! Bang! Many attacks were continuously deflected, but there were still attacks that managed to break through Lei Zongjun's blockade. Those were the soul-chasing arrows, which were invisible and traceless. Once an enemy was locked onto, even if they were chased to the ends of the earth, they would still be able to kill them. The soul-chasing arrow was hard to defend against as it attacked the soul of the divine court realm. When the soul-chasing arrow entered Yang Wu's mind, the battle soul sitting cross-legged in the divine court Dao flower reached out a hand and caught the arrow easily. Is soul attack effective against me? Yang Wu murmured and broke the soul-chasing arrow into two. Asterisk puff. Asterisk the person who shot the soul-chasing arrow suddenly coughed out a mouthful of blood, and his chi withered. My soul arrow, that person exclaimed with a look of horror on his face. He had killed countless people with this innate skill. He didn't want it to be broken here. Lei Zongjun, stay behind and kill them. Yang Ba, come with me. Yang Wu didn't have time to waste here. He took Yang Ba and sped up. Yang Ba had broken through to the intermediate dragon transformation realm. The energy he emitted was terrifying. In terms of combat strength, he could even kill a high-level minor saint. With his combat strength, his flying speed wasn't slow. However, when Yang Wu flew at full speed, the distance between him and Yang Ba was pulled apart. My lord, his speed is so fast. Yang Ba stared at the figure in front of him and exclaimed. Yang Ba had no choice but to chase after him with all his strength. The pair of blue profound wings flashed faster and faster, causing the surrounding air to churn. However, the distance between them was still increasing. All of a sudden, a huge spiderweb-like net enveloped Yang Wu. The net seemed to have been prepared for a long time, waiting for Yang Wu to walk into it. When the net enveloped him, Yang Wu's figure appeared in another direction. The net failed to trap him. The person who ambushed Yang Ba said in surprise, "How could it fail? I saw him being caught in the net just now. That kid is fast. Trap him first, then take him down." Another voice sounded. "What's the use of being fast? Even saints would tremble in front of us." The Triple Confucian Group. The Triple Confucian Group appeared again. The short Zhu Daji, the thin Zhu Busan, and the fat Zhu Wenwan. The one who carried the net was Zhu Daji. They had been waiting for Yang Wu for a long time. They wanted to capture Yang Wu, but they didn't expect to catch him. Other than the three of them, there were more than 10 midgets. They were all from the midget race. The weakest among them was a heavenly fish, while the strongest was a minor saint. Xing family only sent you pigs and dogs? You are underestimating me, Yang Wu. Yang Wu sneered while looking at the midgets. He then turned to Yang Ba and said, I will leave this place to you. In the next moment, he disappeared from the spot. Chapter 771. The three of them had always thought highly of themselves. Together, they could even threaten a peak minor saint. They thought that capturing Yang Wu would be a piece of cake. When Yang Wu disappeared, they were dumbfounded. They couldn't even catch a glimpse of Yang Wu's figure. What kind of speed had he reached? Before they could react, a shocking axe light fell from the sky. Heaven-splitting axe. This axe contained the true power of splitting the sky. The wind and clouds in the sky surged. The axe intent soared into the sky and slashed down at the three of them. The force of the huge axe caused the air to sizzle. Before the axe light arrived, the air was already filled with coldness. Cannonball fist. Zhu Daji regained his senses. He rotated his arm and threw out a ball-shaped fist light. When the fist light collided with the huge axe, it was immediately split into two halves. Asterisk bang. Asterisk, the huge axe was still falling down. Zhu Busan and Zhu Wenru intervened from the side, stopping the huge axe from falling. The other midgets were eager to protect their master. One after another, they attacked Yang Ba. Yang Ba revealed a disdainful aura and murmured, "Useless chickens and pottery dogs." He raised both of his arms and slashed the axe in all directions. Only the shocking axe intent could be felt in this part of the world, and miserable screams could be heard. At the boundary of the Devil Cloud Cave, there were many mountains here. Every mountain had a black hole. Each of the black holes seemed to contain a terrifying devil. Waves of evil chi flowed out, dyeing the whole place dark gray. The evil chi couldn't spread out. Some powerful experts had already sealed this part of the world to prevent the evil chi from disturbing the heaven and earth Xian Qi in the transcendent world. These weren't the Devil Cloud Cave. There was only one real Devil Cloud Cave. It was located in the depths of this part of the world on the tallest Devil Cloud Mountain. It could be seen from afar. It was like the mouth of a devil, devouring the evil chi that flowed out from the smaller devil caves. When Yang Wu approached this part of the world, a snake-shaped battleship appeared in front of him. "Yang Wu, we meet again." Xing Baiyan's voice sounded faintly. Yang Wu looked at Xing Baiyan from afar and said calmly, "How dare a defeated opponent block my path?" Xing Baiyan wasn't angry. He sneered and said, "You're about to die, yet you're still so stubborn. Aren't you afraid of biting your tongue?" Then he clapped his hands and said, "This is the person my aunt wants to kill. The rest is up to you." Behind Xing Baiyan, 8 ape-men appeared. Each ape-man was tall and strong like an iron tower. Their ferocious appearance was suffused with a dense, baleful aura that no one could ignore. Other than the 8 apes, there were 3 skinny old men at the back of the battleship. They sat cross-legged with their eyes closed and were oblivious to what was happening outside. Judging by their calm demeanor, they must be the Xing family's backup plan. "Ajio, Asher, you guys go and take his head." The leading ape-man raised his furry arm and pointed at Yang Wu. 2 ape-men at the peak of the heaven realm flew out from the battleship. Their bodies were suffused with a dense, baleful aura as their target was Yang Wu. Xing Baiyan stood at the front of the ship and sneered as he looked at the battlefield. It was as if he was watching a play. He was in a good mood as he muttered, "So what if you reach the 12th floor? You just fated to die early." Xing Baiyan knew that Yang Wu's battle strength wasn't ordinary. The reason he sent 2 ape-men first was because of his aunt's request. They wanted to test how strong Yang Wu would be after reaching the 12th floor. Yang Wu didn't disappoint him. He looked at the 2 ape-men with a calm expression. He didn't place them in his eyes at all. One of the ape-men swung his fist straight at Yang Wu's heart. His yellowed fist was aggressive. The other ape-man opened his palm and clawed at Yang Wu's head. The 2 ape-men came one after the other. They staggered and attacked in the blink of an eye. Their coordination was exquisite. The attack power of a peak heaven realm cultivator couldn't be underestimated. Before Yang Wu entered the God of War Pagoda, he was at the high-level heavenly fish realm. After entering the God of War Pagoda, his cultivation level fell instead of rising. However, the aura he released was not weak. It was very strange. When the 2 ape-men's attacks were about to land on Yang Wu moved. Bang! Bang! Xing Baiyan couldn't see how Yang Wu moved. The 2 ape-men's heads exploded like watermelons. Blood and brain matter splattered everywhere. Their corpses fell from midair. "Perhaps it's not a bad idea to capture you in exchange for the white-haired demoness," Yang Wu said with a smile. He flapped his wings, and flew towards Xingbayan. "Stop him!" Xingbayan frowned and shouted. Xingbayan reached the 9th level of the God of War pagoda and broke through to the dragon transformation realm. His strength had improved, and he felt that he wouldn't be afraid of Yang Wu again. However, when he saw Yang Wu deal with the two ape men so easily, he felt an inexplicable chill in his heart. 4 of the remaining 6 ape men on the battleship moved. 2 of them were at the junior half-saint realm, and the other 2 were at the initial minor saint realm. This combination was enough to kill any opponent below the minor saint realm. The 4 ape men didn't waste any time and attacked Yang Wu from a distance. 4 different types of power enveloped Yang Wu from 4 different directions. Every one of them contained enough power to flatten a mountain. What could Yang Wu do to stop them? Yang Wu's eyes glowed with sharp light. The trajectories of the 4 attacks quietly fell into his eyes. He chose the fastest ape man and closed in on him. He murmured, 10 years of recultivation. It's time to test my combat strength. At this moment, his chi could swallow the mountains and rivers. His domineering aura was awe-inspiring. The image of Black Tortoise arrived while treading on the waves. The blue fist chi grew bigger and bigger, dazzling the heavens and earth. Asterisk bang. Asterisk the minor saint ape man only sensed a trace of blue light entering his eyes. In the next moment, he fell into endless darkness and couldn't wake up anymore. The same blue light flashed and landed in 3 different directions. 3 pools of blood splashed in midair like red fireworks. It was a beautiful sight to behold. Kill. The 2 ape men on the battleship couldn't sit still anymore. They stimulated their primal strength, and their bodies grew rapidly, turning into true ape men. Waves of baleful chi floated around them. Light shot out from their mouths. These 2 ape men had reached the intermediate minor saint realm. After they transformed, their combat strength was close to that of a high minor saint. Kill him! Kill him! Xingbayan kept shouting. He wanted to see Yang Wu die in front of him. As long as Yang Wu didn't die, he would feel like there was a thorn in his heart. It was very uncomfortable. 2 rays of light blasted towards Yang Wu. However, the rays didn't touch Yang Wu. Only an afterimage was left in midair. When he was discovered again, he was already on top of the battleship, overlooking everyone on the battleship. The 2 ape men soared into the sky. 2 baleful chi enveloped Yang Wu. One of them launched the heaven-blasting fist, while the other launched the mountain lean. The 2 intermediate minor saint ape men attacked with all their might. They didn't want to die. At this moment, the 3 old men on the battleship opened their eyes and looked at the young man who was being besieged. They wanted to witness the fall of this young genius. The young man in the air looked at the 2 waves of attacks, and a confident smile appeared on his face. His simple fist swung down, carrying an indomitable aura. The xian-chi of heaven and earth was stirred up, and the power of the fist became stronger and stronger. The fist intent became denser and denser, showing an unstoppable momentum. It crushed the rumbling heaven fist and forced the mountain lean back. Asterisk bang. Asterisk a thunderous sound rang out, and 2 huge figures fell from the sky, crashing into the snake-shaped battleship. Xingbayan, who was standing at the front of the battleship, didn't know whether to dodge or be scared silly. He could only watch the 2 figures falling towards him. Humph! A cold snort was heard. A figure appeared. He opened his palm and caught the 2 ape men. Useless trash, the old man scolded. He flung the 2 ape men away and rushed towards the young man in midair like an arrow. Arrow kick. The arrow-like kick arrived in front of the young man in an instant. The young man barely dodged the kick, but the chi was still scratching his face. The old man continued to attack. Both of his legs were like peerless arrows. Dense arrow lights were shot towards Yang Wu. This was the innate skill of the old man's legs. He had been cultivating for more than 300 years and had reached the level of perfection. Each of his arrow legs could easily kill opponents with the strength of the 2 ape men. Asterisk swoosh, asterisk, asterisk, swoosh, asterisk. It was impossible to guard against the concentrated attack. This was the attack of a high-rank minor saint. Everything within 10 miles was under his control. A large amount of heaven and earth profound chi was attracted by him. Then let's compete with our leg techniques. The youth murmured. His legs also moved. Suddenly, a storm formed. Countless xian chi of heaven and earth gathered from even further away, forming the power of a tornado. The arrow lights were all crushed into pieces. The tornado quickly and violently swept towards the old man. The old man was shocked. He couldn't imagine that the tornado was attracted by the young man's legs. He was so shocked that he couldn't think straight. The old man didn't wait for his death. He hung upside down and crossed both of his legs, forming his killing move, poisonous dragon arrow kick. His innate power, the xian qi in his body, and the xian qi of heaven and earth around him all converged into his legs. His body began to spin, and with the power of the spiraling vortex, the several thousand feet long evil dragon crashed heavily into the tornado. Asterisk Hong long asterisk 2 earth-shattering heaven and earth profound chi exploded. Waves of profound chi rolled out continuously. The clouds in the sky were blown away. The trees on the ground collapsed one after another. The serpentine battleship quickly left its original position. How did he become so strong? How could this happen? Xing Baiyan stared at the battlefield and said in disbelief, "Let's do it." An old man in black robe said faintly on the battleship, "We can't let the name, Serene, Arrow 3 Elders be destroyed here." Another old man in blue robe stood up and said. The next moment, they rushed out. Chapter 772. The 3 Elders of the Nether Arrow clan. The 3 of them used to be evil. No one knew how they became the people of the Xing family. The 3rd elder was called Arrow Kick. His leg technique was unparalleled. The 2nd elder was called Archer. His palm technique was top-notch. The eldest elder was called Arrowhead. His head technique was unique. The 3 of them were called the 3 Elders of the Nether Arrow clan. All of them had reached the realm of high-grade minor saint. They had cultivated their innate abilities to the point of perfection. When they attacked together, even a top-grade minor saint wouldn't be their opponent. The head of Elder Yu was shining brightly. He turned into an arrow and used his head as hard as steel to collide with the tornado formed by Yang Wu. Elder Yu clasped his hands together, forming a huge arrow that shot towards Yang Wu. The surrounding heaven and earth profound chi surged towards them, creating a mighty momentum. From afar, it looked like there were countless arrows shooting towards the tornado. The sound of explosions was incessant. A mid-grade heavenly fish youth was besieged by 3 high-grade minor saints. It was a shocking scene. Yang Wu was facing the combined attack of the 3. It was a little difficult for him to deal with the attacks with just his legs. He said to himself calmly, "Let's try again. The power of the wind god's leg can be stronger." The supreme 9 mystic arts circulated the xian qi in the air, and all the xian qi in the air was absorbed by him. The wind god's leg stirred all the xian qi together, and the tornado grew stronger and stronger. Many of the arrows were shattered, and Qin Wentian rushed over, stomping down on Yu Lao San. Countless footprints landed on Yu Lao San. Elder Yu's body was covered with thick dragon scales. When the footprints landed on him, the scales were crushed. Eventually, the footprints landed on his chest, causing his chest to cave in. His body fell heavily to the ground. "Elder Yu, don't have to hold back anymore. Shoot him to death." Elder Yu shouted at Elder Yu. Head arrow explodes the sun. Hand arrow breaks the moon. The power of the arrow was like a rainbow, shining both the sun and the moon. Under the combined attack of the 2 high-grade minor saints, the tornado was completely destroyed. It no longer posed any threat. "Good job," Xing Baiyan exclaimed excitedly as he watched from afar. Just when he thought that Yang Wu would be killed by Yu Lao, he saw Yang Wu appear unscathed. A pair of ice wings flashed behind his back, and they were glowing with blue light. There were also traces of extremely cold qi floating around them, and the air around them was showing signs of being frozen. In an instant, he turned into a streak of light and shot towards Yu Lao, and Yu Lao won. Before the 2 of them could react, they felt a chill on their necks and lost all feeling. The ice wings were like blades, leaving no trace behind. What kind of terrifying speed was this? Perhaps only a peak minor saint could compare with it. And Yulao didn't even know what was going on. They couldn't die in peace. I used to think that 2 pairs of wings were very cool, but now I realize that 1 pair of wings is even cooler. Yangwu kept his wings and patted the bloodstains on the tip of his wings lightly, revealing a trace of evil qi. It turned out that Yangwu had 2 pairs of profound wings, a pair of profound qi wings, and a pair of ice blade wings. After dispersing his cultivation, Yangwu could only use 1 pair of ice blade wings. He wouldn't easily condense the profound qi wings again. He channeled the energy of the condensed profound qi wings into the ice blade wings. The ice blade wings could unleash an even faster speed. Moreover, the ice blade wings were solid, like peerless blades that could slash enemies. Just now, Yulao's necks were sliced by the ice blade wings. Now, the ice blade wings were comparable to a peak-grade minor saint weapon. Its power was many times stronger than before. This was because after Yangwu comprehended the extreme qi circulation, his dantian and kidney could easily communicate with each other. In the future, as long as the energy of his dantian existed, the energy of his kidney wouldn't be weak anymore, and he could use the innate ability of his kidney. Yangwu's power had exceeded everyone's imagination. Xing Baiyan's entire body was trembling. He didn't even think as he urged the snake-shaped warship to quickly leave this place. What the hell? How could he become so strong? This can't be real. He must have been possessed by something. Xing Baiyan cursed in his heart. Why are you in such a hurry to leave? I still want to use you as a hostage to exchange for people. Yangwu caught up and shouted loudly. He raised his strength and punched towards the snake-shaped warship. The simple fist energy contained shocking power. It smashed onto the warship's formation like a meteor. Bang! The battleship was shaken by the bombardment, and cracks appeared on its defensive array, almost bursting apart. I'll fight it out with you. Xing Baiyan steeled his heart and urged the warship's formation to attack Yangwu. The snake head exploded with a powerful light as it attacked Yangwu. Yangwu dodged again and again. With a roar, he punched out again. A mountain-like fist hit the battleship. The battleship's array formation was instantly torn apart. Both the battleship and Xing Baiyan were shaken by the power of the fist and were sent tumbling away. Xing Baiyan panicked. He quickly put away the warship and put on his battle clothes. He held his battle sword and charged towards Yangwu. You're only 3 levels higher than me. Do you really think I can't do anything to you? Xing Baiyan slashed out a raging fire. Sword energy filled the world and enveloped Yangwu. Yangwu looked at Xing Baiyan and said faintly, flashy but useless. Too weak. Saying this, he waved his fist again and punched towards the weakest part of Xing Baiyan's attack. The sword energy was crushed, and the fist energy continued forward, landing heavily on Xing Baiyan's body. His dragon-scale armor was instantly shattered, and he spat out a mouthful of blood. Fortunately, his battle clothes protected his body. Otherwise, this punch would have taken his life. Yangwu chased after him again. He wanted to capture Xing Baiyan alive. Xing Baiyan was scared out of his wits. He quickly summoned an imperial decree. The imperial decree's holy power swept out and took him away. Yangwu stared at the disappearing Xing Baiyan and muttered, I forgot about this move. Next time I see you, I'll definitely capture you. At this time, Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Ba rushed over from behind. The two of them had consumed a lot of energy. Yang Ba was also injured, but it wasn't fatal. You guys are a bit slow. Yangwu said to them with a smile. Lord, don't go any further. The other side has clearly prepared a feast for you. Lei Zhongjuan advised. If Lord must save her, then please ask the saints to help. Yang Ba said again. Yangwu shook his head and said, I've already come here. There's no reason to go back. After pausing for a moment, he said with determination, even if it's a dragon's pool or a tiger's den, I'll still give it a try. After 10 years of tempering, his temperament had completely changed. He was not afraid of any challenge. Even if the saints were to make a move, he would not back down. If he couldn't even protect his own people, how could he talk about building his own forces and creating a grand undertaking? Yang Wu brought Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Ba to continue deeper. In the depths, the white-hair she-devil wasn't captured by Ada and Ah-air. She was hiding in an extremely hidden cave. The devil chi here was strong, and the yin chi was oppressive. Ordinary people wouldn't be able to withstand it. Only people like her, who had stayed in the City of Redemption, were familiar with this environment and used it to hide. She was seriously injured and was in a very bad situation. Ada and Ah-air's combat strength was too strong. It was very difficult for her to fight against the two of them. Later, other experts from the Xing family joined in, forcing her into such a difficult situation. Suddenly, Ah-air's cold laughter sounded from outside. Hee, do you think we can't find you if you hide in this place? Too naive. A hand reached into the cave from ground. Its target was the white-haired demoness. The white-haired she-devil had nowhere to hide. She could only grit her teeth and take the attack head-on. Then, she turned into a silver light and flew out of the cave. Just as she flew out, 8 figures stood in different directions and locked onto her. She had no way to escape. Ada, Ah-air, and the 6 humans were all minor saint experts who followed Xing Sherman. The 6 humans came later as reinforcements. Their goal wasn't as simple as capturing the white-hair she-devil, but to prepare for Yang Wu. Surrender, and you'll have a chance to live if you become our woman. What do you think? Ada looked at the white-hair she-devil and said. The white-hair she-devil didn't respond. She charged at Ada at full speed. Her hair fluttered, and thousands of silver light turned into sharp blades and stabbed at Ada. Even if I die, I'll drag 1 or 2 down with me. This was what she thought. This move is useless against me. Ada responded. His body formed earth fiendish chi, and a thick earth armor blocked the white-hair she-devil's attack. At the same time, he clasped his hands together, and a pair of huge palm prints grabbed at the white-hair she-devil. Ah-air didn't want the white-hair she-devil to escape again. He unleashed his powerful aura, and it covered the entire area. It was as if he added an earth-colored light barrier to the area. No one could easily escape from here. The white-hair she-devil went all out. Her hair pierced through Ada's earth armor. She closed in, and her long nails clawed at Ada's heart. Yo, you're going all out against me. Ada screamed. A huge power suddenly charged out of his chest, and the impact twisted the white-hair she-devil's arm. Her body flew back quickly, and she coughed up blood. Chest shock strike. Who would have thought that the chest also had the ability to attack? Ah-air followed from behind. He clasped his hands together and smashed down heavily at the white-hair she-devil's slender back. Before Ah-air could hit the white-hair she-devil, her long hair wrapped around Ah-air's arm. Her body turned quickly, and her hair wrapped around the back of Ah-air's head. She roared angrily, "Die!" She poured all of her power into her palm and slammed it heavily at the back of Ah-air's head. Bang! Ah-air's head was shaken. His body was about to fly back, but he was pulled back by the white-hair she-devil's hair. Ah-air! Ada became anxious. He roared and charged at the white-hair she-devil to attack again. The white-hair she-devil used Ah-air to block in front of her. She roared, "If you attack again, I'll drag him down with me." Just as she finished speaking, a thunderous power came from behind her. Pooh! The white-hair she-devil spat out blood and was sent flying. Dilly-dallying, so boring. A cold voice sounded out. Chapter 773. Whoever could kill Yang Wu would be rewarded with 10 minor saint pills, 10 minor saint weapons, and 100,000 mid-grade spirit stones. The people in War God City rushed towards the direction of the Devil Cloud Cave after receiving the news. Many demon hunters were on their way. They were very familiar with the Devil Cloud Cave. It was not difficult for them to kill a mid-heavenly fish young man. In the Divine Wine Pavilion, the geniuses of the war race were discussing the matter when they heard the news. A tall tree attracts the wind. It seems like Yang Wu is dead for sure. Yang Wu reached the 12th level of the God of War Pagoda by luck. The Xing clan is already thinking highly of him by paying such a high price to kill him. The Xing and Yang clans have already shed all pretense of cordiality. Killing Yang Wu is just a face-slapping game. The seventh princess knows Yang Wu. I wonder if the seventh princess will help him? Xinyuan Huowu stood on the top floor of the pavilion. She did not go down to greet the geniuses. Everything was arranged by the clan. They hoped that she could make friends with the geniuses. If there was someone she liked, she could bring him back to the clan for the elders to take a look. The marriage was settled just like that. As a woman, she would never be able to inherit the position of the patriarch of the Xinyuan clan, even if she reached the top floor of the God of War Pagoda. She looked at the direction of the Devil Cloud Cave. Her beautiful eyes flickered with a complicated look. I believe you can withstand it, right? She paused for a moment and added, then I won't go over to help you. In the territory of the Devil Cloud Cave, Yang Wu had attracted quite a lot of trouble. Demon hunters and non-humans came to find trouble with them one after another. The three of them had already killed 4 to 5 groups of people who overestimated their strength. These people were at most early minor saints. The rest were at the heaven realm. Yang Ba alone could kill all of them. At this moment, a large group of people surrounded them. They were the people of the lion-tiger monster hunting squad. There were more than 50 of them. Each of them was riding on a lion and a fierce tiger. Their whole body was emitting dense, evil chi. The 2 leaders were mighty and strong. One of them was riding a lion while the other was riding a tiger. Both of them had reached the realm of high-level minor saint. They were called Lion Gold King and Fierce Tiger King, respectively. You are Yang Wu? Lion Gold King looked at Yang Wu and asked. I'm Yang Wu. Yang Wu replied. Then he asked, are you also here for my head? It's good that you know what's good for you. My brothers are waiting to eat. How about you lend us your head? Lion Gold King said faintly. Just as he finished speaking, Lei Zhongjuan quietly appeared behind him and said coldly, then how about I borrow your head first? Lion Gold King felt like he had fallen into a cold cellar. He didn't dare to move an inch. His mouth trembled as he said, let's talk nicely. From now on, all of your heads belong to my master. Do you have any objections? Lei Zhongjuan pressed his palm on Lion Gold King's head and asked while looking at Fierce Tiger King in arrest. He released his peak minor saint chi. The people of the Lion Tiger Monster hunting squad knew that they had kicked a steel plate this time. No objections, Lion Gold King said while swallowing his breath. Fierce Tiger King didn't dare to say anything. He nodded his head dejectedly, indicating that he had admitted defeat. They had a lot of people and fought fiercely, but in the face of absolute strength, they didn't have the qualification to negotiate. You guys are very sensible. This way, you can live longer, Yang Wu said with satisfaction. He only brought Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Ba. It was very difficult for him to move forward. Moreover, he didn't know the exact location of White-Hair Demoness. He might as well take in a group of people to deal with the rest. Soon, it was proven that Yang Wu's method was correct. Some of the other humans secretly launched sneak attacks on Yang Wu's group. The people of the Lion Tiger Monster Hunting Squad played their role and fought against these other humans. Lei Zhongjuan and Yang Ba didn't need to attack again, giving them time to recover. As Yang Wu's group continued to move forward, the people of the Lion Tiger Monster Hunting Squad wanted to escape in the chaos. After a dozen of them were smashed to death by Lei Zhongjuan with the soul-suppressing pot, they all became well-behaved. Suddenly, a voice sounded, whoever can kill Yang Wu will be rewarded with 1 saint pill and 50 minor saint pills. This voice resounded mightily in this area. All the monster hunting squads and other races went crazy. Xing family, Yang Wu, will pay you a visit one day. I hope you won't regret today's decision. Yang Wu replied loudly from his Lion Gold King mount. Haha, Yang Wu, if you want to save white-haired Demoness, then go deeper. As long as you are still alive before sunset today, you will be able to see her. The messenger laughed loudly. There was still more than half a day before sunset, which was the most dangerous time. It looks like I have to start a massacre, Yang Wu murmured as he sensed the powerful auras coming from all directions. Sir, let me open a path for you, Lei Zhongjuan replied from the side. Yang Wu waved his hand. No need. You and Yang Ba will split up and hide yourselves. I will attract their attention. If there's an opportunity, you should save white-haired Demonis first. Okay. Lei Zhongjuan saw that Yang Wu had already made up his mind and didn't try to persuade him any further, straightforwardly agreeing. Lei Zhongjuan brought Yang Ba and quickly left from another direction. Yang Wu patted the lion head below him and said, "Go back and follow your master." Asterisk whoosh. Asterisk Yang Wu transformed into a meteor and flew towards the depths of the Devil Cloud Cave with extreme speed. Previously, he didn't know the exact location of white-haired Demonis. Now that he knew, he didn't need to waste any more time. Big brother, they left? Fierce Tiger King still hadn't recovered from his shock and asked. Yes, they finally left. Lion Gold King let out a long sigh and said, when he was facing Yang Wu, he felt more pressure than when he was facing Lei Zhongjuan. Now that he saw Yang Wu's speed, he realized why Yang Wu's value increased so quickly. He was worth that price. Yang Wu flashed his ice blade wings with all his strength. Ordinary minor saints couldn't even catch his figure, which allowed him to escape from a lot of trouble. The only ones who could catch his presence were the ones who were the real trouble. A winged man in front of him held a pair of tridents and stabbed at him furiously. The two tridents drew a long arc in the air like two lightning bolts that contained a ferocious power. This was the power of a peak minor saint. Yang Wu didn't dare to face it head-on. He tried his best to fight back. Only then could he win. The winged man's attack missed. He flapped his wings and approached Yang Wu. He raised his tridents high in the air and swung them down heavily. The overbearing trident light was enough to create a 10,000 zhang long crack on the ground. Yang Wu's eyes glowed with sharp light. He could see the trajectory of the attack clearly. After 10 years of recultivation, his 5 senses weren't inferior to those with innate talents. For example, his clairvoyance, and other abilities weren't bad. This was the benefit of training to the limit in every realm. Yang Wu dodged the opponent's attack. When he got close to the winged man, he raised his fist and punched at his opponent's face. Barbaric Tyrant Fist. At this moment, his aura was as strong as the sky. His domineering aura was as strong as the pressure of a peak minor saint. The winged man revealed a surprised look. He quickly raised his trident to meet the attack. Asterisk bang. Asterisk the punch contained an extremely strong fist intent and boundless brute force. It smashed onto the trident with an unstoppable force. The trident's energy was shattered, and the winged man's arms were numb. Yang Wu raised his fist again. It was the same punch. The black tortoise broke through the waves and suppressed the winged man. The winged man was enraged. He crossed his tridents and unleashed a powerful killing force. At the same time, he let out a sharp cry, "Yo!" The winged man's sound waves pierced Yang Wu's ears. The power of the tridents destroyed Yang Wu's attack. Yang Wu was disturbed and retreated. The winged man continued to chase after him. The sound waves kept screaming. The trident stabbed repeatedly. The area within a 10-mile radius was within his attack range. Rays of sharp light appeared in the sky. Yang Wu entered a dodging state. He sealed his ears and maintained a calm mind, looking for the best opportunity to counterattack. The winged man's attack was very fast. However, he didn't even touch Yang Wu's hair. The more he fought, the more anxious he became. He even used his wings. His wings were the best attack weapons. They slashed left and right, and could even shatter mountains. Now, Yang Wu seized the opportunity. He also waved his wings and slashed at the winged man's wings. Frost Spring Mystic Essence Chi. Extremely cold ice energy spread over the ice blade wings. It was like ice blades slashing at the winged man's wings. Pung pung. After the 4 wings slashed at each other, the winged man's wings were quickly invaded by a layer of extremely cold energy. He was frozen and couldn't move. The extremely cold energy spread along the wings to the winged man's body. The winged man was shocked. He quickly attacked Yang Wu's head with his tridents, trying to save himself. Before the winged man's tridents could hit Yang Wu's head, a shocking scene occurred. The wings that grew on Yang Wu's body fell off and turned into a pair of long blades. They slashed at the winged man's waist. The winged man's wings were already frozen and couldn't break free. Facing this sudden attack, his eyes widened and he cried out in shock, "Huh? Pooh!" The winged man's strong body still couldn't block the attack of the ice blade wings. He was instantly cut in half and blood rained down. The winged man died with his eyes wide open. Yang Wu put away the winged man's tridents and took out the winged man's space accessory. He looked left and right, and two powerful forces had locked onto him. "This old man is Black Cloud Hand, Black Cloud. Greetings, little brother Yang Wu." A man wrapped in black clothes cupped his hands towards Yang Wu and said, "I am White Wind Claw White Wind. Greetings, little brother Yang Wu." A white-haired old woman greeted Yang Wu. "You guys are here for me, too?" Yang Wu looked at the two old men and asked, "Little brother Yang Wu's talent is amazing. Even brother Devil Wings is not your opponent. It is no wonder the Xing family is willing to pay such a high price. We can't help but be tempted." Black Cloud didn't hide his intentions. "Then what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for?" Yang Wu asked. "Little brother Yang Wu, we respect you as a man. Why don't you come with us? We won't make things difficult for you. How about it?" White Wind said, "Are you guys stupid? Or am I stupid? If you guys aren't going to make a move, then I'll make a move first." Yang Wu cursed, looking like he was going to attack the two of them. In the next moment, he quickly slipped away. If he couldn't win, then he would run. Chapter 774, Divine Wine Pavilion. Various war god cities' sky prides were gathered here. The men were extraordinary and had imposing appearances, while the women were beautiful and charming. Every corner of the restaurant was bustling with noise and excitement. After seventh princess, Xian Yuan walked down. She became the focal point of the entire place. Everyone's eyes fell on her. Both men and women were deeply attracted by her beauty. She was like a fairy that had descended to the mortal world. No matter how beautiful a mortal woman was, she couldn't be compared to her. Xian Yuan Huowu was very well-mannered. She greeted all the sky prides present and didn't neglect anyone. Xian Yuan Huowu's original intention was to leave after greeting them. She had no interest in these sky prides present. Just as she was leaving, someone said loudly, "Let me invite everyone to watch a show." The person who spoke was Xing Bijian from the Xing clan, the monstrous genius who reached the 9th level. His words attracted everyone's attention. Someone asked, "What show?" "I'm sure everyone knows that there's a demoness called White-Haired Demoness who was once thrown into the City of Redemption by my saintess. My saintess once ordered that anyone who dared to take her out of the City of Redemption would be our Xing family's mortal enemy. After a few decades, someone disregarded my saintess's holy will and took her out of the City of Redemption. Do you know who this audacious person is?" Xing Bijian kept everyone guessing. "Who is it? He even dares to disregard the saintess's words. Quick, tell us, which saintess is so audacious?" Someone followed Xing Bijian's words and asked. Xing Bijian glanced at Xian Yuan Huowu and said loudly, "This audacious fellow is Yang Wu from the Yang clan." Instantly, everyone was in an uproar. Yang Wu is so audacious. He even defied the saintess's decree. Is he the Yang Wu who reached the 12th level of the god of war pagoda? I understand now. No wonder the Xing clan offered such a high price to hunt him down. So it was because of this. How could the Yang clan allow Yang Wu to bring the white-haired demoness out? Could it be that the Yang clan doesn't care about the Xing clan? Xing Bijian waved his hand and said, "The white-haired demoness has been captured by us again, and Yang Wu still wants to save her. He dared to disregard the holy maiden of the Xing clan, so he has to pay the price." After pausing for a moment, he took out an ancient mirror and said, "This is the 10,000 miles mirror. I want everyone to see why Yang Wu saved the white-haired demoness." The 10,000 miles mirror was an ancient holy mirror obtained by the Xing family. It could see everything within a 10,000 miles radius. Xing Bijian poured his power into the ancient mirror. The mirror flew up and formed a dazzling light. Soon, the scene 10,000 miles away appeared. That was the Devil Cloud Cave's territory. Soon, Yang Wu's running figure appeared in the mirror. Behind him, there were two black and white figures chasing after him at high speed. A trace of worry flashed across Xian Yuan Huowu's beautiful eyes when she saw Yang Wu. She quietly glanced at Xing Bijian and released a wisp of invisible killing intent. Is that Yangwu? His flying speed is so fast. Are the two peak minor saints behind him, Black Cloud Hand and White Wind Claw? Rumor has it that Yangwu is only at the Heavenly Fish realm. Even if he has the Black Tortoise Battle Chi, he can't fight against a peak minor saint. This is a monster that reached the 12th level of the god of War Pagoda. What a good show. 10,000 miles away, Yangwu felt like he was being watched by something. He didn't have the time to care about it, and continued to increase his speed. Yangwu, where do you think you're going? A shout rang out. An arrow shot towards Yangwu from another direction. The arrow was very fast. It was like a meteor. In the blink of an eye, it hit Yangwu's body. After the arrow passed through, the person who shot it realized that it had only hit Yangwu's afterimage. Yangwu appeared in another direction. Suddenly, a mountain crashed towards him. A terrifying power came head-on, forcing Yangwu to retreat. At the same time, Black Cloud and White Wind attacked from behind. A black cloud covered the sky and shrouded Yangwu. Black palms slapped towards Yangwu, accompanied by gusts of Wind Claw. Black Cloud Hand and White Wind Claw were famous existences in the God of War City. Yangwu was attacked from the front and back, forcing him to fall to the ground. Yangwu's movements were very fast. He barely dodged these attacks. If he was half a beat slower, he would have been torn apart by these peak minor saints. When Yangwu landed on the ground, there were a few more people around him. Other than Black Cloud and White Wind, there was a middle-aged man with a big bow on his back. There was also a stone man standing on top of a mountain. There were also 7 people who appeared in different positions. Other than the first 4 who were peak minor saints, the other 7 were high-level minor saints. They all had their own methods and weren't easy to deal with. My wife and I have decided on Yangwu's head. Do you want to compete with us? Black Cloud looked at the people around him and said, "It doesn't matter if I give you Yangwu's head. However, you have to give me the Saint Pill rewarded by the Xing family." The middle-aged man with the big bow said faintly. Gong Moya was an expert with the title of Little Archer Saint. He was also the leader of a demon hunt squad. "I also want a Saint Pill," the tall stone man said in an ear-piercing voice. The stone man race was a race that grew by devouring rocks and soil. They could control all kinds of soil. Their combat strength and defense were extraordinary. The other 7 high-level minor saints didn't say anything. They had already made their intentions clear when they came here. The temptation of the Saint Pill was too great for them. Then let's rely on our own abilities. Black Cloud knew that he wouldn't be able to persuade these people to back off. After saying that, he turned into a ghostly figure and swept towards Yangwu. His palm turned into a black cloud claw and grabbed towards Yangwu. White Wind didn't stay idle. She didn't attack Yangwu. Instead, she created a gust of chilly wind that stirred up the weeds and dust within a few miles radius. She wanted to interfere with the others. "You guys really want to defeat me," Yangwu said with a strong fighting spirit. He took a step forward, and the aura on his body instantly rose. It was as if he had turned into a black tortoise. A thick defensive power appeared on his body, and he punched out a powerful fist. A strong fist intent swept out in all directions and blasted towards He Yun's palm. If someone could see through his body, they would be able to see that the profound chi in Yangwu's dantian was erupting like a volcano. The endless profound chi was astonishing. Moreover, every drop of the compressed profound chi was incomparably pure. The power of a drop of profound chi was comparable to the power of 100 drops of profound chi. Such a ratio could scare people to death. This was the result of his 10 years of training. So what if he could kill an enemy who was a realm higher than him? In the past 10 years, he had been fighting against the strongest young kings in recent times. He had learned a lot from the battles. The most important thing was that he had comprehended his own martial Dao intent, extreme martial Dao. He would spend his entire life pursuing the path of breaking through his own limits, or even breaking through his own limits to become the strongest. Barbaric Tyrant Fist. It contained the extreme brute force of the barbaric god's arm and infinite fist intent. This fist intent was infinitely close to the way of the fist. It was only a step away. The power of the fist was earth-shattering. Bang! The barbaric tyrant fist and Black Cloud's palm collided. Profound chi splashed in all directions. The weeds on the left and right were all turned into powder. The ground burst open on the spot. Yang Wu's punch was weaker by half. His body was forced back dozens of feet, but his defense was not damaged at all. Black Cloud was shocked. He couldn't figure out how Yang Wu could be so powerful. He suspected that his opponent was possessed by a powerful soul. He didn't know that Yang Wu had already activated the Yang family's battle blood to the maximum. It had already integrated into every corner of his body. He didn't need to activate the battle blood like before to increase his combat strength. Now, he could adjust himself to the strongest state at any time. Once he attacked, he would go all out and wouldn't leave any chance for his opponent. Again, Yang Wu was full of fighting spirit. He roared and attacked again. It was the same punch again, but the power of the punch was even stronger than before. Bursts of explosive fist force rushed out. In the past 10 years, Yang Wu had only practiced one fist technique. The other fist techniques were just for reference. They weren't part of his cultivation. Black Cloud looked at Yang Wu like an invincible young king. His aura weakened a little. Luckily, his willpower was extraordinary. He wasn't really frightened by Yang Wu. He said in a hoarse voice, "No wonder you could reach the 12th level of the god of War Pagoda. Little brother Yang Wu, you didn't disappoint me." Dark Cloud's searching palm. Black Cloud was serious. He attacked with all his might. Two black palms that covered the sky grabbed at Yang Wu. In another direction, Little Divine Archer, Bao, and Mo, you raised his bow and aimed at Yang Wu. An arrow that could destroy the sun and moon shot out. Swoosh! The arrow pierced through the long tail, broke through layers of obstacles, and landed on Yang Wu in an instant. All the little saints who were watching the battle felt that Yang Wu's arrow would definitely kill him. Even the geniuses who were guarding in front of the myriad mirror thought so. Little Divine Archer has attacked. Yang Wu has no way to survive. I really didn't expect Yang Wu to be so powerful. He can't be just at the heavenly fish realm. He must have reached the dragon transformation realm. This guy really hid his strength well. What fist technique is he using? It feels a little like the Savage Beast fist. It also feels like an invincible tyrant fist. Could it be that he has inherited the legacy of the Yang family's ancestors? It's a pity that the Yang family doesn't know how to protect such a monster. Xing Bijian smiled at the crowd. Yang Wu is indeed not bad. His mistake is that he offended our Xing family. He's dead for sure with this arrow, he said with certainty. His eyes were fixed on the battle situation in the myriad mirror. He wanted to see Yang Wu die with his own eyes. In the next moment, he and all the other prodigies were horrified. It was as if they had seen a ghost in broad daylight. They couldn't believe what they were seeing. They saw that young man in the myriad mirror had grabbed the arrow that contained a sure kill power in his hand. Instantly, a young lady in the wine pavilion smiled brightly. Everything paled in comparison. Chapter 775. Little Divine Arrow, Bao, and Mo, he had been practicing archery for 300 years. His archery skill was unparalleled. This time, he seized the opportunity to strike. He was 100% sure that he could kill Yang Wu. He murmured, "The reward will be mine." Yang Wu and He Yun were fighting fiercely. Suddenly, a powerful arrow was shot towards them. His powerful battle soul sensed it at the first moment. He quickly stretched out his hand and caught the arrow. The arrow contained the strength of a peak minor saint. Even a high-level minor saint wouldn't dare to catch it with their bare hands. However, Yang Wu dared to do so. He caught the arrow in his hand and stopped after being pushed back a few meters. The minor saints who were watching the battle were dumbfounded. Yang Wu's strength was beyond their expectation. "All of you can come at me together. I'll take all of you at once." Yang Wu threw an arrow towards He Yun, who was preparing to attack, forcing He Yun to stop. He then looked around at everyone and said faintly, what was the limit? It was to force out one's potential in the most dangerous environment. The strength of his body was pushed to the limit under such circumstances. He wasn't sure if this was his limit. Only through repeated challenges would he be able to determine whether he had reached his limit or not. Yang Wu's battle aura was released. His sparkling muscles flowed with a majestic power. It seemed that the power of the blood demon, the power of the frost spring, and the power of the ancestor were stacked together. These powers were integrated into every corner of his body, elevating his body to a terrifying level. In terms of physical strength, he wasn't inferior to any peak minor saint. Because of this, he was able to compete with a peak minor saint. "It's interesting to kill such an invincible young king," said the stone man. He condensed a stone fist and smashed towards Yang Wu. The stone fist was as heavy as a mountain. Even He Yun and Bai Feng felt the pressure increase. The stone man was born with great strength. There weren't many races that could be compared to him. Yang Wu faced the stone man's fist. He waved his fist. Barbarian bull, barbarian tiger, barbarian horse, and other savage beasts appeared behind him and collided with the stone fist. Asterisk bang. Asterisk as the two fists intersected, countless stone fragments flew everywhere, and profound energy rippled and surged. Suddenly, Yang Wu leaped into the air and roared, "I'll crush you." At this moment, Yang Wu's battle prowess skyrocketed. The power of the barbarian god's arm was at its peak. A dense amount of death energy gathered in his fist as he smashed it towards the stone man in an overbearing manner. Fist of death. Before the fist arrived, it was as if the god of death had descended, taking away most of the stone man's life force. His aura was instantly reduced by more than half. When the fist landed on his body, his hard stone flesh was instantly torn apart. Everyone was stunned once again. "Gong Mo," you shouted. "Don't just stand there. Let's join forces and kill him first." Gong Mo, you shot out 9 arrows in one go, and these 9 arrows changed into different trajectories as they surrounded Yang Wu. The 9th ring shot down the sun. Black cloud and white wind no longer dared to underestimate Yang Wu. Both of them executed their ultimate moves. Dark Heaven's searching hand. White in evil moon claw. A dark devil hand suddenly appeared, as if it could plunder the entire sky. Countless dark claws shrouded the heaven and earth, and the bright moon was about to be torn into pieces. The other 7 high-level minor saints didn't dare to stay idle either. One after another, they channeled their power towards Yang Wu. The stone man didn't die. His stone body condensed once again, and there seemed to be an earth dragon rushing towards Yang Wu's position rapidly from the ground. In an instant, the land within a radius of 10 miles was shrouded by all kinds of energy. The terrifying destructive power was enough to destroy this small world. In front of the myriad miles mirror, all the geniuses held their breaths. The battle situation in the mirror had already exceeded their expectations. Watching it made their blood boil, especially when Yang Wu blew up the stone golem with a single punch. It was truly too shocking. Faced with such pressure, Yang Wu did not show the slightest bit of stage fright. Instead, he was full of fighting spirit. He roared loudly, "Today I'll let you see the power I've tempered at the top level." Yang Wu's 9-petaled Dao flower swayed. A powerful martial intent was unleashed. The fanaticism of extreme pursuit swept through his entire body. All of his blood was boiling. His meridians were surging like a river. The energy in his dantian was erupting. The surrounding profound chi of heaven and earth was gathering towards him like swallows returning to their nest. At the same time, the energy of death spread out. The weeds around him withered one by one. This was the true energy of death. The second style of martial god fist, chaotic fist. In an instant, Yang Wu struck out a chaotic punch that carried the energy of death. It was as if he had struck out 81 punches in an instant. Every punch was changing its trajectory, making it hard for others to grasp. This was the fist of death that was formed by the fusion of martial god fist and Tao of death. This wasn't the Tao of death that Yang Wu was pursuing. It was just a Tao of death that could greatly increase the power of martial god fist. The chaotic and domineering punch shattered the energy of the attacks. The death chi field was completely expanded. Everyone's life force was rapidly draining away. It scared them to death. Not good. It's the energy of death. This brat possesses the Tao of death. Bastard. Retreat quickly. This Tao of death has the power to deprive life force. We can't stop it. This brat is too strong. Even our combined strength can't suppress him. Hurry up and use your trump card. The life force of those who were besieging Shaochan was draining away, affecting their muscles. Their attack power was also decreasing rapidly. There was no way they could continue this battle. Like a ferocious tiger, Yang Wu rushed towards the minor saints who had surrounded him and kicked out with his leg. Wind God's kick. This innate skill could not only increase one's speed, but also increase one's lethality to the limit. The high-rank minor saint only saw a blink of an eye before his head was crushed by Yang Wu's kick. After Yang Wu killed one of the minor saints, the will of the minor saints was almost crushed. So many of them had joined hands to besiege Shaochan, but not only did it not work, one of them was killed by him. Moreover, the shadow of the Death Chi field made them feel that there was no way they could continue this battle. Earth Dragon overturned. The Stone Man wasn't affected too much. His life force and physique were different from the human race. Although the Tao of Death did affect him, the effect wasn't as great as one would imagine. He used his energy to control the petrified earth and turned it into an Earth Dragon, charging towards Yang Wu fiercely. The power of this attack was too strong. It forced Yang Wu to retreat continuously. The defensive energy on his body was almost shattered. Kill him with all your might. Gong Mo gritted his teeth and spat out a mouthful of blood. The blood gathered on the feather of the arrow, and a blood arrow was shot out. Chasing heart blood arrow. The surging blood energy fused with the arrow, drawing a long blood mark. The power of this attack was something that even a half-step saint wouldn't be able to deal with. On the other hand, He Yun and Bai Feng had joined hands to unleash their ultimate attack. The chilly wind blew, and dark clouds covered the sky. The power of this attack wasn't inferior to Gong Mo Yu's arrow. Stormrise. The rest of the minor saints once again unleashed their most powerful combat strength. Some of them took out their broken saint weapons, and some of them fused with their mounts to unleash unprecedented combat strength. All of these forces were filled with destructive power. They only had one goal, and that was to take Yang Wu's head. Yang Wu no longer allowed them to form an encirclement. His ice blade wings flashed, and waves of cold air floated. His body continuously turned into a blur, dodging their attacks. His two fists continuously bombarded the weakest few of them. His attacks were too powerful. Wherever he went, those few people couldn't resist at all. They were forcefully pushed aside. Blood splattered, broken limbs exploded, and miserable screams rang out continuously. Yang Wu wasn't completely unharmed. The heart-chasing arrow pierced into his back from an unexpected angle. Fortunately, he had the powerful black tortoise battle armor on his body, which dissipated most of the power of this arrow. Only then was he able to avoid being killed by this arrow. A fresh hole appeared on his back, which was a shocking sight. In addition, those dark clouds and chilly winds were like the palms and claws of the devil, shrouding his head and scratching at him. He tried his best to defend himself, but there were still dozens of bloody scars on his body. The stone golem borrowed the force of the earth, and like a catapult, countless meteorites kept ramming towards him. He needed to kill and defend at the same time. There was no way for him to take care of everything. If it wasn't for his strong physique, he was afraid that this wave of attacks would have taken his life. Yang Wu didn't have stage fright because of his injuries. His speed was getting faster and faster. Wherever the cold air passed, people's throats would be cut off. Some people's mounts would be frozen to death. Some people's life force would be taken away. The lethality of his attacks was still terrifying. 5 of the 7 high-level minor saints had fallen. Only 2 of them were still alive with broken saint weapons. One of them was wearing a set of broken saint armor to block Yang Wu's fatal punch. The other one was holding a broken sword to block Yang Wu's attack. They were scared out of their wits by Yang Wu's attack. They didn't dare to attack Yang Wu anymore. They chose to withdraw from the battlefield and let the 4 peak minor saints deal with Yang Wu. They would then sit back and reap the benefits. The pressure on Yang Wu was reduced by a lot. However, he still didn't dare to be careless. As he took a deep breath, a large amount of heaven and earth profound qi surged towards him. His body was emitting a blue luster. His injuries were healing rapidly. His combat strength was still at its peak. He first rushed to the sky and then dived down. Both of his fists were as heavy as mountains. Jinwu fist. Yang Wu didn't hold back anymore. He compressed all of his strength into his fist and turned himself into a huge black tortoise. He suppressed the 4 minor saints below him with an unstoppable force. Death Qi was lingering around him. His Tao of Death had been fully activated. Who could stop him? Only the stone golem was not afraid of the Death Qi. Only the stone golem could compete with Yang Wu in terms of strength. He didn't hesitate to unleash his ultimate move to meet Yang Wu's attack head-on. Stone golem true body. All of a sudden, a gigantic stone man condensed at an extremely fast speed. The surrounding ground and rocks became a part of his body, turning into a 3,000-meter tall stone man. He swung his massive fist force up into the sky. The stone fist's power was domineering, and its momentum was shocking. This punch was extremely shocking to the eyes. Asterisk Hong Long Hong Long. Asterisk Chapter 776. The heavens and earth seemed to have stopped. Only the 2 fists collided with each other, as if neither of them could do anything to the other. Until a certain moment, the huge arm suddenly burst open, and countless fists flew in all directions. When the flying stones landed on the ground, they would blast a deep hole in the ground. The power of the aftermath was incomparably shocking. As the fist and arm exploded, the huge stone figure collapsed in an instant. Soon, it turned into a pile of rubble, without any signs of life. A young man used his left hand to cover his twisted right hand. Blood was seeping out of his right hand, and his arm was crippled. The young man bared his white teeth and said, "What a powerful punch." It crippled this heavenly king's arm. In fact, it was not just his arm that was crippled. His clothes were also destroyed, revealing his delicate and rosy skin. Any girl who saw such skin would go crazy with jealousy. In front of the 1,000-mile mirror, all the geniuses were completely stunned. That attack from the stone man was something that no one present could easily withstand. However, not only did the young man withstand it, he even killed the stone man with a single punch. The visual impact was too shocking. Wasn't such a terrifying killing power something that only a sage could possess? Was this young man already a sage? What the hell? Xing Bijian's face was completely black. He wanted to let everyone enjoy the show of Yang Wu being surrounded and killed. However, who knew that the plot would not develop like that? Yang Wu's strength was a mess, and he was in the limelight in front of all the geniuses. Xing Bijian felt as if he had eaten a dead fly. He thought to himself, this kid must die. If he doesn't, he will be a disaster for my Xing family. In front of the battlefield, Gong Mo gritted his teeth and cursed, "Pervert." In the next moment, he turned and quickly left the place. The stone man had been killed with a single punch. If he continued to fight, he would follow in the footsteps of the stone man. It was better to retreat first and save his life. After all, there was nothing to lose. He Yun and Bai Feng did not dare to stay any longer, and they both disappeared. You think you can come and go as you please? How can it be so easy? The young man would not let them leave so easily. He was not so easily bullied. Fighting soul avatar. Suddenly, the power of the 3 fighting souls rushed out in 3 different directions. The fighting soul was him, and he was the fighting soul. His powerful soul power was infinitely close to the power of a saint. In an instant, he caught up with the 3 of them and blasted toward their divine court with boundless power of death. The fighting soul had appeared too quickly and attacked too quickly. The 3 of them were already startled by the mere twang of a bow. By the time they realized it, a powerful soul power had already rushed into their divine halls. Their souls quickly withered as the tyrannical fist force shattered their souls. 3 peak minor saints had fallen. This was the strength of the Soul Control Heart Sutra, and also the reason why Yang Wu's bloodline had been completely transformed. The former could condense a powerful fighting soul body, while the latter could use battle chi to split the fighting soul body. The combination of the two could only form 3 fighting souls. The fighting souls carried the corpses of the 3 minor saints and quickly returned. Yang Wu had obtained all the spoils of war. Other than that, the high-level minor saints who had retreated far away were already scared out of their wits. They ran away frantically, not daring to stay any longer. They were not killed, but when they received the latest news about this young man, they felt proud of themselves for running away. The young god of war had become famous after a single battle. After this battle, no one in the Devil Cloud Cave dared to attack Yang Wu again. Some of them had seen the battle clearly in the dark. They were completely scared out of their wits. They told everyone that Yang Wu was terrifying. Who would dare to challenge Yang Wu again? Yang Wu didn't stop to rest. He looked into the depths of the demonic cloud cave and continued to walk forward with majestic steps. Every step he took was as if the ground had shrunk to an inch. His figure was moving quickly. His extreme circulation had already activated his wind god's legs to the limit. It was not strange for him to have such speed. Not long after, Yang Wu finally found the white-hair sorceress. She was tied to a stone pillar by the people of the Xing family. Behind her was a huge devil cloud cave. It was like an ancient devil that was crazily devouring the evil chi. The evil energy could only enter the cave, but it could not leave. If the white-hair sorceress was not tied to the stone pillar, she would have been sucked into the cave. The white-hair sorceress's hair was disheveled. Her breath was weak, and her body was covered with blood. She was on the verge of death. When she saw the person who came to save her through her hair, her beautiful eyes could not help but shed tears. How many years had it been? Ever since she was abandoned by a heartless man, other than crying bitterly, she had never shed a single tear. Even when her face was cut, it was no exception. How could the pain of the flesh be more unbearable than the pain of the heart? She had lost her trust in everyone. She only believed in herself. Today, the softest string in her heart was touched once again. So there was still someone in this world who did not abandon her. After she was captured, she learned from the people of the Xing family that they wanted to use her as bait to lure Yang Wu into the trap. They wanted to kill this monster who had reached the 12th level of the god of War Pagoda. In her heart, she did not believe that Yang Wu would come for her. In the past, she wanted to control Yang Wu, but she was accidentally controlled by Yang Wu instead. Their relationship was not deep. She was only his hired thug, that was all. Would a rational monster come to die for a hired thug? But he really came. How could he come? There were 8 people in front of the white-hair sorceress. 6 of them were from the human race, and 2 of them were from the ape race. Every one of them had a shocking aura. Xing Xinga, Xing Bai's protector, who had met Yang Wu once, looked up and said, "The younger generation will surpass us in time. I really did not expect that you would be able to make it here." Yang Wu smiled faintly and said, "Didn't you set up such a formation to wait for me? If I didn't come, wouldn't you be very disappointed? That makes sense, but you're really stupid. You came to die for a woman. Your Yang family is even more stupid. They allowed a prodigy like you to come and die. No wonder your Yang family is declining and our Xing family is becoming stronger and stronger," Xing Xinga said with a smile. "How do you know that I will die and not you?" Yang Wu countered with a question. "Of course you will die. Do you really think that we will fight to the death with you? You think too highly of yourself. Activate the formation." Xing Xinga laughed sinisterly as the formation lit up. Xing Fire Steaming Formation. Suddenly, a terrifying flame appeared in this area. Not only did it envelop Yang Wu's location, but it also burned a large area nearby, turning this place into a purgatory. The Xing Fire Steaming Formation was astonishing. It could easily kill a half-step saint. Xing Xinga laughed crazily and said, "This formation is called the Human Vaporization Formation. It can vaporize anyone under the saint realm. It won't kill you instantly, but it will make you feel like you're in heaven, and then you'll die slowly." He paused for a moment and then pointed at white-hair she-devil and said, "Oh right, within an hour, the Xing fire steaming formation will also burn white-hair she-devil. She will be steamed to death before you. You will have a companion on the road to hell. Sure enough, there was a pattern in the formation that was slowly burning white-hair she-devil's stone pillar. Within an hour, it would reach the pillar and burn white-hair she-devil to death. Yang Wu was in the middle of the fire formation, but he wasn't immediately engulfed by the sea of fire. The sea of fire only sealed the area around him so that he couldn't escape even if he wanted to. The fire inside the formation would gradually increase, and the heat would gradually increase until it reached the point of steaming. In addition, there would also be flames attacking him. If he couldn't dodge them, he would be burned to death. This wasn't an ordinary fire. It was Xing fire. Even if it wasn't the purest form of Xing fire, it could still burn anyone under the Saint Realm. The Xing family had made ample preparations and didn't allow any accidents to happen. In front of the 1,000-mile mirror, a prodigy cursed in dissatisfaction. Xing Bijian, your Xing family is truly despicable. Sun Ling loudly rebuked Xing Bijian. When dealing with an enemy, anyone would be unscrupulous. Could it be that when your Sun family kills an enemy, you would fight them fair and square? Xing Bijian looked at Sun Ling with disdain. But Yang Wu, Sun Ling was about to retort when Sun Yong stopped her. He looked at Xing Bijian and said quietly, "After today, I want to challenge you. Do you dare accept?" The Sun siblings had a good impression of Yang Wu. Seeing Yang Wu being bullied like this made them feel very uncomfortable. Xing Bijian curled his lips and said, "I'll be happy to oblige." The prodigies present couldn't bear to see Yang Wu being bullied like this. But just as Xing Bijian said, the Xing family and the Yang family were irreconcilable. How could they be merciful to their enemies? From now on, the Xing family is the enemy of the Hung Mountain sect. A clear voice echoed throughout the Celestial Wine Pavilion. A young woman in a tight suit appeared proudly in front of everyone. Her features were dignified, and she was tall and slender. Her breasts were proud, and her legs were straight. She was a rare, noble beauty. Behind her was a handsome man who was as bright as the sun. His aura was oppressive, and he radiated light. No one could ignore his existence. In addition, there was a young man from the water tribe following behind. He looked at Xing Bijian, emitting a thick aura of hostility. The prodigies present looked at the woman with surprise. They didn't expect her to say such arrogant words. "You're Yang Wu's woman. What right do you have to represent the Hung Mountain sect?" Xing Bijian frowned and looked at Shu Yujun. "Because she's the young mistress of our Hung Mountain sect." The handsome man behind the woman said faintly. He paused for a moment and said, "I'm Hing Mountain King Yuyang." Suddenly, the Celestial Wine Pavilion was in an uproar again. Scorching Sun, Sword King Yuyang. He was in the top 1,000 of the previous Heavenly Dragon ranking. He's really the Scorching Sun Sword. That woman's identity can't be fake either. Do they want to get involved in the Battle Tribes matter? That woman is the young mistress of the Hung Mountain sect, Shu Yujun. What's her relationship with Yang Wu? Even I'm moved by such an outstanding young man like Yang Wu. It's normal for her to like him. However, it's unwise for her to make an enemy out of the Xing family in the name of the Hung Mountain sect. The Hung Mountain sect is a sect of the Five Mountain sect. They are of the same branch. Will she represent the Five Mountain sect? Chapter 777. Human Steaming Array. This was an evil array created by the Xing family's array master for the enemy. Anyone who fell into the formation would be roasted by the high temperature. Occasionally, flames would shoot out from the formation. Even a minor saint expert would have a hard time dealing with it. In the end, they would either be steamed to death or burned to death. Yang Wu was in the middle of the array and sighed. 10 years of hard work is still lacking. I forgot about the killing array. After pausing for a moment, he muttered, "Luckily, it's a fire array. I should be able to deal with it." Waves of hot energy entered his body from the bottom of his feet. This hot energy was enough to make a small saint jump up and down. Wisps of flame flickered incessantly, like fire snakes that would burn him at any moment. The person tied to the stone pillar let out a heart-wrenching cry. "Leave." "Haha, he can't leave now." Xing Xing laughed. Aer rubbed his hands and said, Elder Xingge, can't we play with that woman? The saintess said she would leave it to us. Ada also nodded on the side and said, That's right. Before she dies, let us have some fun. Xingge glared at them and said, Don't you dare ruin the saintess' plans. There are many women outside. When this is over, I'll arrange for you to have some fun. But this woman is more interesting. Aer said unwillingly. Pa! Ada fiercely slapped Aer's head, causing Aer to be stunned. It's good enough that you have a woman. Why are you still being so picky? Quickly thank Elder Xingge. Ada said sternly. Yes. Thank you, Elder Xingge. Aer said reluctantly. Just watch the show. Xingge said indifferently. Within the human steaming array, Yang Wu walked towards the white-haired demoness step by step. He said with a faint smile, Since we're here, let's leave together later. The human steaming array could hurt others, but it couldn't hurt him. The blue demoness in his heart had been silent for a long time. It was very hungry, and the heat from his feet had become its food. All of a sudden, a flame burst out, like a fire snake pouncing towards Yang Wu. The raging fire and the surging impact were extremely overbearing. Even a minor saint wouldn't be able to withstand it. Yang Wu stretched out his hand like a dragon's claw and caught the fire snake in his hand. The thick flame struggled for a moment and then quietly disappeared into his palm. The people outside the array were surprised. They didn't expect Yang Wu to wipe out a flame so easily. It's not surprising to be able to block one flame, but to be able to block all of them would be frightening. The Xing Pavilion muttered to himself. The two flames attacked Yang Wu from both sides. Yang Wu stretched out two claws and grabbed the two flames in his palms. The flames quickly disappeared into his palms again. For flames shot out from the left, right, front, and back. The impact was increasing and the intensity of the flame was increasing. This was the terrifying part of the human steaming array. The flames didn't burn Yang Wu's body. They were all controlled by him and were devoured by the blue demoness. In the eyes of others, these flames were extinguished by Yang Wu. Who would have thought that he could refine the flame? Let's see how long you can withstand it. The smile on the Xing Pavilion's face disappeared. Behind him, a masked man said faintly, Activate the array with all your might and kill him. Yes, my lord. The Xing Pavilion showed a respectful expression towards the masked man. The next moment, he activated the power of the array to the maximum and shouted, The peerless genius of the Yang family, die with the human steaming array. They poured their energy into the array. The array's power increased greatly. Countless flames started to burn in the array. Flames shot towards Yang Wu from different directions. There were even flames coming out from under his feet. They wanted to burn Yang Wu into a flaming man. This kind of attack was enough to burn a peak minor saint to death. There was only a sea of fire in this place. Could the young man in the array still be alive? Arg! The woman who was tied to the stone pillar screamed crazily. She struggled with all her might. Her body was getting tighter and tighter by the rope. Blood kept oozing out from her skin. Her body was in pain, but her heart was in more pain. She didn't want him to die. The masked man in the dark finally made his move. A huge soul pot flew towards a stone pillar. He wanted to save the woman first. The rat has shown himself, the masked man said faintly. He threw out the scimitar in his hand. The scimitar was like a crescent moon. It emitted waves of saint aura and slashed at the huge soul pot. A loud sound was heard. The two weapons bounced off each other. The huge soul pot was a saint pot. The scimitar was also a saint blade. Two figures quickly rushed out from the dark. Their target was still the woman on the stone pillar. It's not that easy to save someone under our watch. Ada, Aer, what are you waiting for? Xing shouted. Ada, Aer, and the others had reached the peak of minor saint. Their combat strength was quite strong. However, they still had to bow down in front of the Xing family. We haven't tasted this woman before. Even if she dies, we won't let you save her. Ada shouted. He flew up and threw a yellow fist at the two men who were trying to save the woman. Aer also shouted, I'll use you to vent my anger. The two apes were very powerful. Their attack power was incomparably fierce. It was not easy to fight them head-on. Lei Zhongjuan, who was holding the soul-suppressing pot, wanted to fight back. However, Yang Ba shouted from the side, "You save the woman. I'll stop them." Before Lei Zhongjuan could react, a black tortoise appeared on Yang Ba's body. This black tortoise was not only intelligent, but also had a trace of ferocious qi. Two huge axes appeared. The axes fell from the sky and slashed at Ada and air at the same time. Asterisk rumble. Asterisk the two huge axes were shattered. Most of the power of the two fists was also blocked. The remaining power was only able to push Yang Ba back 100 meters. Yang Ba waved his arms, revealing a belligerent expression as he shouted, "You guys are nothing more than this." In the next moment, he took the initiative to charge at the two apes. Yang Ba had reached the 9th level of the God of War Pagoda and received the teachings of one of the ancestors of the Yang family. He had become even more powerful. Earth-splitting axe, sky-splitting axe. Streaks of axe light slashed down with earth-shattering power. The dense axe intent was infinitely close to the feeling of martial Tao. The black tortoise behind him had already merged into his body, causing his body to be filled with the power of battle blood. It was enough to unleash the power of a peak minor saint. At this moment, Yang Ba displayed the unique demeanor of a little tyrant. Before Yang Ba left the City of Redemption, the people of the Yang family knew of his existence. It was a pity that he was tainted with demonic qi and killed the people of the Yang family who received him. That was why he was suppressed in the City of Redemption until Yang Wu appeared and brought him out. After the demonic qi was removed from his body, his combat power was weakened. After this period of adjustment, his combat power gradually recovered. With the help of Yang Wu's medicinal liquid, his foundation became more solid. His accumulation in the God of War Pagoda allowed him to break through to the intermediate dragon transformation realm. There was no doubt about his talent. He once battled with Yang Wu. If it wasn't for Yang Wu's bloodline power suppressing him, he might not have lost. Today, his name was destined to be famous in the God of War realm. He would also have a place among the younger generation. Not everyone could fight two peak minor saints with the strength of a mid-dragon transformation realm cultivator. In another direction, Lei Zhongjuan turned into a ghostly figure and rushed towards the white-haired she-devil. He had to save her first, so that Yang Wu wouldn't have any worries. Just as he was about to come into contact with the white-haired she-devil, the masked man appeared in front of him and said coldly, "You want to save her? Have you asked for my permission?" Baleful Ghost Claw. Lei Zhongjuan couldn't be bothered to talk nonsense with him. He furiously clawed out with all his might. The masked man's reaction was also very fast. He raised his arm and turned it into a scimitar and slashed down. Asterisk bang. Asterisk Lei Zhongjuan was forced back by the masked man's attack. Half-step saint. Lei Zhongjuan was shocked after flying back a few hundred feet. The Ghost Clan is only SOSO. The masked man said disdainfully and once again approached Lei Zhongjuan. The masked man's speed was even faster than Lei Zhongjuan's phantom movement technique. In the blink of an eye, he appeared in front of Lei Zhongjuan, his scimitar furiously chopping down. Swoosh! One after another, the scimitars slashed down incessantly. The overbearing energy forced Lei Zhongjuan to only be able to defend himself. Lei Zhongjuan was once a saint, and his battle experience was not weak. He used the advantage of his movement technique to fight and was not quickly killed by his opponent. He had no choice but to summon the soul-suppressing gourd back. His opponent was much stronger than him, and his ghost body was not strong enough to resist. As a result, saving the white-haired demoness had become an extravagant hope. Inside the human steaming array, the situation suddenly changed. The raging fire had the characteristics of devouring and burning. No one below the Saint Realm could stop it. The Xingxing Pavilion didn't think that Yang Wu would be able to stir up a storm. It was only when a brilliant blue light appeared in the human steaming array that everything changed. Xinghua, who possessed the power of devouring, was devoured by the blue flames. A large amount of punishment fire entered Yang Wu's heart, and a flame in the shape of a black tortoise came out. It seemed to be excited as it wantonly swallowed the punishment fire. Heart fire blew temptress. After Yang Wu activated the ultimate battle body, it didn't seem to have changed much, but in fact that was not the case. The vitality of his heart became stronger, and the power of his bloodline became stronger. It quietly reached the level of a semi-saint flame, one step away from becoming a saint flame. Although the fire of the human steaming array was terrifying, it could not be compared to this. Yang Wu walked out of the sea of fire step by step. The sea of fire followed him, and his target was the stone pillar in front of him. The Xingxing pavilion and the others of the Xing family were shocked. Their old eyes almost fell out of their sockets. "I'm here to save you." Yang Wu looked up at the woman on the stone pillar and said calmly. Chapter 778. "I'm here to save you." The young man said these words very lightly, but the process was extremely dangerous. If not for the 10 years of training in the God of War Pagoda, he wouldn't have been able to come here. The woman on the pillar was in tears. She suddenly felt that even if she died, she wouldn't have any regrets. Sacrificial fire steaming. Xingge couldn't accept that Yang Wu ignored the sacrificial fire array. He roared at the others, and the other four worked together with him to bring out the array's strongest power. A large amount of fire turned into a wave and rushed toward Yang Wu, dealing the final blow to Yang Wu. Blue demonis rushed out of Yang Wu's chest and turned into a blue-black tortoise. It fiercely slammed into the Xinghua, and the Xinghua became its food. It couldn't harm Yang Wu at all. "Kill the white-haired demonis first, then kill him," Xingge ordered. Near the stone pillar, a small saint pointed a finger at the white-haired demonis and aimed it at her forehead. He didn't want to give her a chance to live. Xingge and the others worked together to attack Yang Wu. They didn't want to give Yang Wu a chance to save her. "You can't kill her," Yang Wu said with certainty. Then, the ice wings turned into a conical blade and stabbed toward the little saint's neck at high speed. That small saint didn't have time to react before his neck was pierced by the ice blade wings. The ice blade wings weren't just Yang Wu's wings. They were also his killing weapon. Compared to before he entered the God of War Pagoda, the ice blade wings were sharper and more decisive. This move was inspired by his ancestor, Yang Baiqiang. It was a one-hit kill. Before the attacks of Xingge and the others landed on Yang Wu, they sensed that their comrade had died. Their bodies and minds turned cold, and their attacks weakened significantly. The ice blade wings split into two and slashed toward the other two. Yang Wu sneered, "All of you can die." Although the two had increased their defensive power, the ice blade wings had been completely tempered by the frost spring mystic energy. Its toughness was comparable to a top-grade lesser sacred weapon. The two's defenses were cut open like vegetables. The ice blade wings sliced open their necks, and blood gushed out. A hidden attack. Xingxinge finally realized the situation. He didn't dare to hold back and used his innate skill to attack. He had to kill Yang Wu as soon as possible. Otherwise, all of them would die. Talent, long arms. His arm suddenly lengthened and crossed the distance of 1,000 feet. The weapon in his hand slashed down furiously at Yang Wu. Yang Wu's senses were extraordinary, but in the face of the Xingxing Pavilion's strange innate skill, he was still shocked. When the warblade chopped down with a dense firepower, his defense was cut open, and his shoulder was almost cut off. Before he could adjust, Xingxinge's other arm lengthened, and a fiery fist slammed toward his face. Xingxinge's nose was smashed, and blood gushed out of his nose. His body was pushed back dozens of feet. Kill! Xingxinge's killing intent sword. The lengthening of his arms brought him endless convenience. He held the warblade in one hand and slashed furiously at Yang Wu. His other hand was punching out. It was as if he was fighting Yang Wu in close combat. He had a lot of advantages. He was a peak minor saint. Each of his attacks was enough to kill an opponent below the peak minor saint realm, but he couldn't kill Yang Wu. Yang Wu's defense was very abnormal. That layer of armor wasn't the ordinary heavenly scale armor. It was more like the black tortoise shell. There was an 8 trigrams formation revolving around his body. Ordinary attacks couldn't break his defense at all. Black tortoise battle armor. Yang Wu's bloodline had undergone ancestral transformation. He had inherited an incomparable inheritance from the other members of the Yang family. These inheritances were hidden in the memory of his bloodline. If his bloodline wasn't completely awakened, he wouldn't be able to obtain these inheritances. Black tortoise battle armor. After Yang Wu's bloodline had undergone ancestral transformation, his battle chi had integrated into his flesh and blood. He didn't need to activate the battle blood innate skill to maintain his strongest state at all times. The black tortoise battle armor was condensed from the battle chi. Only those who were stronger than Yang Wu could break it. The battle blood innate skill had integrated into every part of his body. It helped Yang Wu's attack and defense to be beyond anyone's imagination. This was the strongest performance of a Yang family's bloodline. Another member of the Xing family cooperated with Xinga. He held a battle spear and seized the best opportunity to attack. The spear, which was thousands of feet long, stabbed toward Yang Wu's head. Yang Wu was forced into a somewhat difficult situation. Fortunately, his ability to adapt was very fast. He discovered that the effect of the Xing pavilion's long arm was only to extend its length. He didn't see the other party's battle prowess increase by much. He didn't want to delay any longer. He sensed that the situation on Lei Zhongjuan's side wasn't good. The death aura quickly spread out. The area within a radius of several miles was filled with death aura. The Tao of Death began to rob the life force of living creatures. Ordinary defensive forces couldn't stop its invasion. The life force of Xing and the other member of the Xing family was taken away in an instant, which scared them quite a bit. They were old, and even if their blood chi was still vigorous, they could not withstand the loss of life force. That would accelerate their aging. Why is my life force weakening? Xinga frowned. The other person looked at his wrinkled arm and cried out, "Where did my lifespan go?" Yang Wu said coldly, "I took it all away." Then, he pulled out his death scythe and slashed towards Xinga's arms. The blade flashed, and the long arm was cut off. Xinga's reaction was still too slow. His life force was slipping away, and he panicked. When Yang Wu counterattacked, he didn't have time to retract his arm. The arm holding the battle weapon was cut off, and the Tao of Death spread along his severed arm, harvesting his life force. "I don't want to die. I don't want to die." Xinga seemed to see the gates of hell. He was so scared that he quickly retreated. Then, he shouted, "Lord Face Demon, save us." Xinga's life force was greatly reduced. His mind was completely broken. Yang Wu wouldn't let go of such an opportunity. He raised his death scythe high up and slashed towards Xinga's head. Xinga's unsevered arm pulled out a battle spear and blocked above his head, hoping to block Yang Wu's attack. Ding dong! The blade light clashed with the battle spear. Sparks flew. The battle spear broke, and the body was cut into pieces. Another member of the Xing family was so scared that he peed his pants. He made a prompt decision and rushed toward the white-haired she-devil. Only by taking that woman as a hostage would he have a chance to live. "You can't escape." Yang Wu was like the king of Hell's judgment. The ice blade wings caught up with that member of the Xing family in advance and easily took his head. Yang Wu killed another 5 small saints in a row. His battle achievements were pardoned. In front of the Wanli mirror, all the prodigies were shock-numb. This young man's combat talent was invincible. Xing Bijian wanted to put away the Wanli mirror and leave, but 7th Princess Xianyuan stopped him. Everything could only be taken after the battle. Xing Bijian dared to be presumptuous in front of anyone in the Yang family, but he couldn't do that in front of 7th Princess Xianyuan. He could only wait for the battle to end. "Saintess, when are you going to make your move?" Xing Bijian thought to himself. In front of the Devil Cloud Cave, Yang Wu walked to the front of the stone pillar. The ice blade wings slashed at the rope that tied the woman to the stone pillar. The ice blade wings, which had always been successful, couldn't cut the rope. Instead, it slashed at an invisible force. A figure quietly appeared on top of the stone pillar. He stepped on the stone pillar with one foot and looked down at Yang Wu. His eyes were filled with sharp, killing intent. The demon face was the last member of the Xing family here. He was also the strongest one. He had the power of a half-step saint. Lei Zhongjuan was beaten by him. He had to hide his ghost body in the soul-suppressing pot to survive. If Yang Wu didn't finish off the rest of the Xing family in time, he wouldn't have survived. The soul-suppressing pot would also be taken away by the demon face. In another direction, Yang Ba, Ada, and Air were fighting fiercely. They were still fighting. No one knew who would live and who would die in the end. The demon face, standing on top of the stone pillar, said lightly, "You have great potential. No wonder the Saintess set a trap to kill you. Unfortunately, your good luck ends here. Those who said that to me have gone to see the King of Hell." Yang Wu looked into the demon face's eyes and said, "Because they aren't me." The demon face's eyes flashed with a strange light. Suddenly, there seemed to be power in his eyes. Yang Wu's eyes seemed to be filled with power. The demon face's talent, soul, frightening eye. The soul frightening eye could frighten people's souls and make them lose their souls. It was different from Yang Wu's soul eye's talent. It could frighten people's souls. They would still be in the God's court. They would only lose consciousness for a short period of time. Yang Wu's God's court had a strong fighting spirit. When the demon face's soul frightening power entered, it was shattered by his fighting spirit. The demon face immediately sensed it. He was surprised and said, "You can break my soul frightening power. Ha! Have a taste of my soul frightening power." Yang Wu sneered and opened his third soul eye. Powerful soul power quickly shot toward the demon face's God's court. "Break for me." Before the soul power arrived, the demon face's eyes shot out soul power to block the third soul eye's soul power. Boom! There was an invisible power fluctuation. Yang Wu's soul eye's power was stronger. It shattered the demon face's soul power and continued toward the demon face's God's court. Soul battle. The demon face's eyes flashed with a demonic light. He shouted, and his soul flew out of the God's court. His soul was very solid. He waved his soul power to shatter the power of the soul eye and attacked Yang Wu. Soul battle was a battle using souls. Usually, only saints or races that were good at souls would use it. Souls below the saint plane were not enough to support a soul battle. "Fight!" Yang Wu responded simply. The war god flew out and fought the demon face's soul. Yang Wu's fighting spirit was very strong. He cultivated the soul control heart sutra that Little He had passed on to him. It was a supreme cultivation method for cultivating the soul. He had condensed the God's court Tao flower long ago. With the Tao flower nurturing his soul, it was even stronger. A soul battle was more dangerous than a physical battle. If one was careless and his soul was destroyed, he would lose his soul and die. At the very least, he would suffer a soul injury and become a fool or a lunatic. The demon face was worthy of being a half-saint expert. His soul power was not inferior to Yang Wu's fighting spirit. He had endless attacking methods. Unfortunately, Yang Wu's fighting spirit had an even stronger advantage. Soul dividing.